Welcome, everybody, to the Sleestakians Variety Show. I'm your host, Lorenzo Sleestak. Well, now it says, and now I get the number of viewers, so I don't listed.
cool.
So I don't know if we were really live or not live. But anyway, I'm joined by Daniel from High Tier Comics and the Tech Corner, aka Tech.
Tech at this point has become a nickname. So
yeah.
In the same way you would call me Danny or
Wise
something.
Guy, welcome.
Hey, Wise Guy. How's it going?
I like that. I like that.
I like that
profile pic. That's awesome.
Player 1, the Wise Guy.
And so, what are you working on, man?
I'm working on.
You got something cool on the screen.
I'm working on page 6 of 20 of a 20-page chapter for Miss Wonder that's on my that it's on Subscribestar at High Tier Comics on Subscribestar. And so I got through most of the book already, or most of the chapters. So most of the chapters.
Hey, Mike.
So all pages are already sketched out and they're just waiting ink. So today I'm working on page 6 of 20. And then
hey, the other Mike.
Hey, other Mike.
We got two mics. Two turntables and a microphone.
Hey, double mic. So we're gonna see the magic mic moment, huh? I'm kidding.
I think so. I'm sorry. I was just.
I know. I'm
muting myself so I could. I was dropping a link and. Well, when I use my keyboard, I don't want to click, and.
Yeah. So we're gonna go through the get a monopoly of who's gonna show up for the stream. And then so actually I did buy a iPad off a friend, and so I'm starting to learn to use that. But right now, I can only use what they call a update pass, and that allows me to use ClipPaint Studio on iPad. The only issue is that it's version 2 and not version 1, so I can't go back and forth on my PC with it. So I can't take my work with me about where I need to go for right now. So crap. So
that's too bad. Yeah, please like and share. I'm still trying to get the word out about the show. I'm not sure how many people even know we're live. I didn't share it on Twitter, but I would recommend if you can, please help us out and share us down in Twitter. Still kind of working on that.
It's having issues. Okay, there we go.
What's having issues?
I don't know. The Wacom tablet I have was acting.
Is that how that's pronounced? Is it Wacom? Wacom?
I think either it's Wacom or Wacom. I can't say it right to save my life. I butchered like there's no tomorrow, I guess.
Well, that's.
I'm pretty sure I'm saying it wrong.
At least you're keeping things entertaining. I honestly don't know how it's pronounced, but I don't.
I was like, Wacom.
Yeah, it's waka. I just know it's a lot of artists use it. They even use it at some doctor's offices. I've seen it when I have to sign my name instead of signing
there's like a itty bitty version of it.
Wacom. Yeah.
Waka.
And my signature kind of sucks to begin with. It's even worse on one of those.
Yeah, I know. It's like some people it's a naturally intuitive. For others, it's like trying to brush
a panda.
Yeah, pretty much.
You're trying to brush a panda.
I'm trying to think of. I was trying to think of good analogy, and I couldn't think of one.
I don't know. That would what would be a good analogy?
Then you're like a drunken sailor trying to write your name. Sheesh.
Yeah, that is kind of the case. But I'm kind of like that to begin with.
Yeah.
And usually somebody's handwriting improves since they're in kindergarten. But then again, I don't have the best hand-eye coordination or fine motor skills. And on the other hand, I've been using a computer since I was a little kid, so that's what I would type up my school papers with, even back in elementary school. So it's like, yeah, it's funny because somebody was like, "Oh, you Gen Xers, didn't you grow up with computers and all?" No, that's bullshit. I had an Atari computer, not a 2600, VCS. I had an Atari 400, which had a keyboard.
I
It
mean,
was one of those lousy membrane keyboards, but it was a keyboard.
I was born in '81, so I'm technically in between. I'm in between millennials and Gen Xers, I guess.
Well, I can actually consider myself in between. Being born in I just say mid to late 70s.
Because I'm not as tech inclined as I should be, but I'm also not as I also don't have a serious stick up my butt when it comes to certain things.
Well,
yeah, I know.
So I don't know. I think with me, yeah, I don't know. I mean, we were one of the first families in town to own a Macintosh computer. And this was back when the Macintosh was like a really cool gaming computer. I mean, it was in black and white, but it actually, the graphics were quite good with a monochrome monitor.
Mm-hmm. We had at one point we had an Apple II. I gave it to my dad, and my dad just brought it home, and we had no idea what to do with it because we didn't know the first thing about computers at the time. So it was like, okay, but we had fun with it because we played things like Top Gun on it, and but it wouldn't be till later until I guess I got into like middle school where it became more of a thing for us.
What type of computer was it? I mean, like
an Apple II
operating system?
An Apple II.
Oh, Apple II. Yeah, those had a ton of different games for. That was the Apple I, I think, was like the first personal computer, or one of the first.
Mm-hmm.
But you still had to build it was still kind of for hobbyists where you had to provide your own keyboard, which since those Apples were the computer was built into the keyboard.
Yeah.
You couldn't just go to the store and buy a keyboard. It wasn't really practical. The Apple I wasn't really practical for the average person until
way later.
Till they came. It was when they came in with the Apple II, the very first Apple II.
Yeah.
And that but so you got one of the very first online multiplayer what do you call them, like MMOs, was Ultima Online, but the original Ultima games were on the Apple II, I believe.
If it was, like I said, we didn't know too much about computers back then, and I was because when we got it, I was what, 6, I think. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah.
No, wait. No, I was still. I think I was still in first grade.
Well, yeah. When you're in first grade, you're not going to be able to afford as a first grader to go out and buy a bunch of games anyway. I only had for my Atari, I only had only had a handful of games. I had Choplifter. It's
We had Top Gun. That's what we had.
Yeah. And Choplifter was this helicopter game where you rescue these guys that are like they're trapped in these buildings with tanks firing at them, and then the helicopter goes and you fly the helicopter over and you got to land the helicopter and not get shot by a tank and hopefully not smash the people when you land the helicopter. For the time, it was pretty violent, but
it's a pretty funny game and pretty high.
But it wasn't
high efficient skill. You must.
It wasn't like gory, but yeah, the Apple II version. Like if you went and
you have played at this area.
With the Apple II version, you had to be careful with that, like the helicopter blades and the people's heads. And that's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to go into graphic detail. And,
hey, don't want
to get the channel in trouble. I just say you had to be careful when you landed it and with the helicopter blades, because some gory stuff would happen. But I don't think there was like any blood or anything. It's just, you wouldn't have as many survivors.
Yeah, the graphics weren't up there for.
They kind of look like little ants, or something on screen. Hey, good to see you, Rex. Thanks for stopping by. Please like and share, folks. I'm still trying to get the word out. I never really know when to.
Okay, you know what? I think it's rush.
Yeah, I don't. If I go and I schedule this hours in advance, people might not get a notification that we're going live, or they might get it like 8 hours before the show starts. So I've been like I've been trying to not post too long before we go live.
Yeah, I've been trying to find.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm still trying to find a better pin for doing all of this stuff. I keep every time I think I got a good one, it just the flaws start showing up, and I'm like, okay, you know what? I think it's either I'm doing something wrong or I'm doing something right, or I just like that.
Hey, Horror Mike, welcome. So this is the third mic we've had. This must be the mic day.
The magic mic hour. No? Okay.
Wait, didn't they have a product back in the day called the Magic Mic? Like back in the, was it the 90s?
It was a movie called Magic Mike.
Oh,
it was for strip dancers.
Before when?
Strip dancing. Male strip dancers. There's a movie about male strip.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't even expect you to be saying that. So, like, when you were saying that, it didn't even register.
Well, you're the one that's supposed to have a dirty mind here, so.
Well, not about guys, like, not that I have a problem if somebody does. It's just not. I just don't go for the blokes.
Oh, Lord.
Hey, welcome. Is it Fuzzy or Fazy? I'm so sorry. I'm not good at pronouncing people's names, but welcome. And if you like what you're seeing, please like and share the stream. It helps get the word out. I'm adding you as a moderator. And I'm sorry, I didn't mute the mic. Are you guys hearing anything? Because I had to go to my phone when I. Well, thanks. I appreciate that. Oh, yeah, I follow your channel as well.
That's again, shall we?
Well, then thank you for your support. And hey, Sticky Art Shorts. It's Sticky Art Shorts, and it's Sticky Art. And then there's another channel. I think it's just called Sticky Art. And that's an awesome channel. Welcome, Horror Mike.
How's it going, Horror Mike?
Hello. How's it going? Can you guys hear me? How's my sound?
Yeah, we can hear you playing well.
I don't remember if you've been on here before.
I'm testing out this mic. I just brought it out from storage. I haven't used it in a long time, so this is kind of
you're coming in pretty clear.
Yeah, sounds good. Welcome, Yasuke. Hope I pronounced your name right. I have a hard time with Japanese words.
Okay. Yeah, I was using one of those headphones, with the microphone on it, but I had some problems with it, like cutting out occasionally. It just didn't work for me.
I know those mics are usually sometimes they're usually more optimized for freaking gaming stuff.
Yeah, exactly. As a matter of fact, it was literally called a gaming, headset. But I got it because it was like $10. I was like, oh, let's see how this works. But
it works really well. To tell you the truth, the people who go and they spend their money on the $100 mics, it might sound a little better, but it doesn't. I can't really tell the difference myself.
Okay, Lorenzo, he's using a different mic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right now, yeah. Actually, I brought out this. I've got an Audio Technica. I'm going to lift it up here. You see that? It's one of these. It's just a typical omnidirectional mic.
Okay.
Type cardioid, I guess.
Well, I'm glad you found something that works for you. I just use my Chromebook mic. It's a $250 Chromebook. Got it on sale. It would be worth a lot less now, I'm sure.
The thing is that you can. I mean, basically, you can use anything. It's just as long as the problem I had with that headset was that the sound kept cutting in and out. Like occasionally, it would just it would kind of crackle, which is crap. You know what I'm saying? It's just like
definitely.
Yeah, when you get a negative. It sounds like like someone hitting a bad note on the guitar.
Exactly.
Oh, so sticky.
That kind of feedback.
I think it's a mic.
Yes.
Check out.
Here's our other mic.
Check out. Is it Fazy Art? Sorry, mispronouncing your name, but check out this channel, please, folks, and don't forget to smash the like button and share this.
Yeah.
Out to everyone.
Yeah,
thanks,
I did that earlier. I like.
Oh yeah, and welcome other Mike Walters.
Hello, Mike.
Hello.
How you doing?
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, we've also got we also had I'm the Mike Brown the Mike Brown show, or just Mike Brown.
Patience,
he was in the chat earlier.
Well, yeah, it's kind of funny. I kind of went back to back at one point on the comment.
Yeah, it was good to see all the mics. We're having a mic convention.
It's a mic
convention.
Well, Lorenzo, don't forget at the top of the hour, 6:00, the mic stand will be coming up. My show, where I'll be going over, of course, all the niche news of the day.
Yeah. Definitely check that out with some
reading over some articles and bounding into comics on some anime releases coming out, including Blue Lock, My Hero Academia, and I guess the latest season also of regarding Zero starting life. And also what I'm going to talk about, even though there's no article with it, but apparently another big piece of news that came out, I guess today, that Yellow Flash, Very Dark, and Hero Hey all reported on earlier. I don't know if you guys heard about this, but there's apparently a Pokemon trading card tournament.
Yeah, there was a Pokemon trading tournament, and some dork decided to put a kid on a hotspot.
Oh yeah,
about pronouns and whatnot. Come on, man!
But
basically, it was one of the judges. He was asking.
He had the audacity to ask that stuff.
And a teenager. Okay, and the teenager, kind of. Very nervous manner answered him, and then he couldn't remember the third word. And
so I recommend people check out your show if they want to hear more about the story, because I think you'll be talking about that tonight, right?
Yeah, I'll probably.
I'd rather not talk about it on here, just because people just keep like talking, about
over each other on top of that.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's just there's Death Pusher. It's just that we've got a non-binary panelist who comes on sometimes, and that panelist is not on here to discuss it with us, and it's just that people are just like.
Is it by chance? Is this the same non-binary panelist who at times has shown up on Rick's channel?
Yeah.
In
the past,
I'm somewhat aware of the situation. All right.
Well, it's a friend of mine, and I try to get different points of view on here. The problem is like some things get like kind of border on the edge of politics or get really political.
Yeah.
Daniel's not, Daniel's he's usually my co-host. He's not always, he can't always make it here. And I know, Daniel, you've said many times before that you don't like dealing with politics too much.
Well, it's not that I don't like dealing with it. It's just that I know that when getting into politics, it starts a fight. And
guys, there's an old saying for that. Mm-hmm. There are like basically, I think there are like two things you don't talk about with friends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
politics, and I don't remember the other thing.
Oh, it was religion. Yeah, and I do break that. I have talked about those topics on here. It's just right. It's just I'd rather like hear about
people's not to either, Lorenzo. One of the things you have to understand, though, is that as part of the human condition, our ideology, our ideological values are going to come to the forefront.
Yeah. The problem is that people talk about
who we are. It's best not to talk
the problem is that people
are talking. Things tend to get out of hand with that, but
So those are the
people are talking about a lot of the same wedge issues.
Weren't you guys talking about computers? Just to
we were.
I thought I would reminisce about my first computer.
Go for it, man. We'll put a pin in that topic for
because people are talking about all the same.
I was just coming in for a few minutes to say hi anyway.
Oh no, do you have others? Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay.
But I'll go ahead and drop my link in the thing.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
As I said at the top of the hour, if you guys wish to open up a second window and come over and check out.
Oh definitely.
Check out what I'm doing. Feel free to do.
Yeah, open a tab up if you're on.
I'm getting a weird
desktop or laptop or whatever. You can always open a second tab. I can even do that on my Chromebook. I have several tabs open.
I'm not sure. Why you getting the delay? Because
okay.
No, the only time I get a delay if I
now you're talking, but the person that was just talking before was totally off, and I'm in StreamYard.
Oh.
Hey, Jelly,
that was totally
somebody
see now. Lorenzo is on.
Welcome.
No, I'm not sure.
That was really weird. Who was talking before? Was it Mike?
I was talking before. Am I sounding weird now?
Well, it just seemed your mouth was off, and I thought there was a delay, and so then I checked. Of course, there's going to be a delay on YouTube, but in StreamYard, it's real time.
It may be that his camera is being a little bit behind. Sometimes it'll
maybe it's possible. There's a latency issue there.
I hope I don't have these problems.
Oh, hey, Chris. Well, yeah, I think Larry from Niobe might have shown up before as like Facebook user, or I think he's shown up with a name other than what I was used to.
Other than his name.
But welcome, Chris. Thanks for joining us.
Right.
And
yes, so
Mike wanted to talk about computers.
1996. I was living in New Orleans, my girlfriend, and we went to the store and we got a Pentium. This was right when the Pentium computers were coming out. That was it.
Yeah.
It was
Pentium.
A game changer, right? And it was I think it was one of those ridiculous things where it had like I don't know, what was it? maybe it was 500 megabytes of storage.
Yeah, back then everybody was like, "Oh my god, 5 megabytes of storage!" You know, that's a freaking game changer. Nowadays we have what 14 terabytes and shit.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And it just, but the funny thing was, and I don't know if you guys recall these things, like for instance, we ended up actually moving to Winston-Salem, North Carolina shortly after that. So we were there in Winston-Salem in 1997, and I just got onto the computer really hot and heavy. I was a painting contractor, right? I was doing painting houses, commercial stuff and all that. And but I got on the computer and I started doing that, like, I don't know, about 6 months later, full time, making way more money than I was doing, you know, painting contracting. And one of the things that I was using was Netscape Navigator Gold. You guys remember that?
Oh, Netscape. Oh man,
I remember Netscape Navigator. That was cool. It had
Navigator.
It had a built-in email client. It had a built-in web designer, and I think even maybe a built-in chat program, but I can't remember.
Right. Well, Navigator Gold also had stuff like a GIF maker, things like that.
Cool. That is really cool.
Yeah. So like back at that time, I was just like, oh my god, this thing has got everything. You know, I can do all kinds of stuff.
That's a lot more than like what, like, say, Chrome has these days. It was, they were encouraging people to create their own websites, and I created. I coded my own back in the day.
Yes, yeah, that
wasn't completely coded. Some of it was like kind of pre-made using.
I mean, if you really think about it, a lot of why is hand pink waving? Okay, a lot of the stuff back then was basically
that's an emoji. They just don't show up. The emojis don't show up well in StreamYard.
Oh, be your own entrepreneur. That's basically what the 80s and 90s were mostly about. It's like be your own businessman and all that.
Yeah, that was it.
And they gave you the tools, man.
It was really easy.
You must be in the government. You must be on this thing. Oh, dude,
yeah.
Come on.
And Netscape Navigator, I swear, for a long time, for at least several years, and that's a long time in computer time, was the tops. It was absolutely. I mean, everybody was using it, and at that time, like we're talking, this is getting into the late 90s. The thing is that of course you started having like various companies that would allow you to become an affiliate, like to sell books or movies or, whatever stuff, just a wide variety of stuff that you could sell. So I just totally got into it. And at that time, there were relatively few people doing it. I was just, the money was incredibly easy at that time because there were so few people, involved. And I think there were fewer people that were using these tools like Netscape Navigator Gold had. And I was just using the hell out of this thing. I was just pushing it. I was like, man, this is stuff that people don't have on other, in other programs. And they just kind of consolidated it into one, program. It was fantastic, so that was it. That was it for me, man.
The market is sadly now. Computer type work is a dime a dozen.
Oh, God.
and the market is oversaturated. And welcome, Chad.
Yeah,
thanks for joining us.
Yeah, back then it was absolutely like it was kind of like a no man's land kind of thing where you just you bumped into stuff. You just found out about things, like you would go into what were those things like BBC, the chat rooms, the
BBS, the
BBS. I'm sorry,
services?
BBC. Yeah, BBS. That type of stuff to find out what was going on, like what companies were online that you could, earn a commission from, things like that. And so that was it. And they just started building and building. Obviously, the tech boom in the late 90s, it became like a situation where, of course, new things were coming out every month. It was just like, and now, of course, how it is. It's just, I mean, I don't know. We've gotten to a point now with the impending AI where
that's not going to be a fun time for him.
I think
I think
amazing,
there's all sorts of different potential uses for AI.
Yeah,
my biggest concern that like a lot of artists don't really talk about. Well, my particular concern is I think they dealt with it in Lawnmower Man. That people, but maybe that's more virtual reality. But I just might be afraid that people people are already kind of confusing, even like say Twitter with like the real world. Yeah. And I think the more immersive things become, and the more lifelike, these computer programs become, I think maybe the more people will get confused, because right now people might be on Twitter arguing with someone, and it could turn out to be a bot. They've been arguing with for
that is true. And the thing about AI is I think it's largely a myth, because the thing is that every time you hear about AI, and you can see this time after time, you go on Twitter, somebody's talking about Chat GPT, and they're like, oh my God, it's so left wing. It won't do this, but it'll do that. And I'm like, yeah, okay, that's because it's being programmed to do that. That is the entire thing. It has to start from the programmer or group of programmers. If you don't have those group of programmers, it's going to of course you're going to have something that with any group of programmers, it's going to give you their perspective.
Yeah.
Always.
Well, what's also interesting about the AI thing too, because the past few weeks here, I've actually covered a couple of interesting stories in regards to AI.
I was wondering if you had some.
I had to deal with Adobe's latest bullshit.
One of the things I did cover, I don't know if you guys have heard about this, but Gab, rather, the social media site Gab.
Yeah, what about
him? Has actually developed an AI art generator program called Gabby. And one of the reporters from Bounding into Comix decided to go on there and try to like de-wokeify, as it were. A lot of the legacy characters have been wokeified of late, and I'm not going to go any further than that. Just mentioning that on that front. And then also over in Japan, apparently they're releasing the first fully AI generated manga called Cyberpunk Peach John. And I know that not this past Sunday, but the week before, I know my panel on my weekend edition panel show, we had quite a very lively and heated discussion about AI art, considering that a lot of the group that, basically I met Lorenzo through some of the other guys, like Chris Tomolovich, Rick Piper, so that.
Oh, yeah.
And Lorenzo, I've been sending you the invite. You're always welcome.
Yeah, I barely feel well enough to go on this show once a week.
Well,
and I haven't been going on people's channels much.
Coming on another person's show isn't.
Yeah,
if anything, it's a little bit easier because you don't have to worry about.
But I've been feeling sick lately. But thanks. I appreciate you thinking of me. Oh, by the way, past studies show true self-learning AI will most likely destroy itself. It's a sticky art. Interesting.
Yeah, they could very well do that.
Sure thing, Sadie. You're a mod now. And,
I mean,
I'll be impressed when AI can create its own jokes, says Jilly. I think copyright law is catching up with AI too, says Sticky Art. Okay, I just wanted to read people's chats, because thing is I want the chat to, be part of the show,
That was one thing about the Chat GPT, making jokes. Somebody just brought up that. This guy pointed out he was conversing with this Chat GPT module or whatever. And so he said, hey, tell me a good joke about Jesus Christ. And so the Chat GPT gave him a good joke. It was a joke about Jesus Christ. Then he said, okay, now tell me a good joke about Muhammad. And the chat GPT said, no, we cannot speak ill of religion.
And we don't joke about Muhammad on this show either.
Right. And so what that means
and happy Ramadan to my Muslim friends.
What that means is that the computer is being programmed by somebody to say or not say certain things. It's not intelligence. It's
an illusion of intelligence.
Yeah, exactly. So that's my point. We are believing this thing. People are believing artificial intelligence, but in reality, it's a simulation of intelligence.
Psychic.
Right. Hence the term artificial intelligence.
Right. But the thing,
artificial.
But here's the thing: they think that it can learn. It can't. It cannot learn. That is my statement. And
it's not learning like a human. It adds stuff to its database or whatever, probably.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, you can build a database, but learning is more than just acquiring knowledge. Okay.
Yeah.
That's only the first half of it. Okay?
Right. Exactly. So the whole thing is kind of
it's
like knowing how to use that knowledge once you. Anyways, I'm gonna head out.
It's not like it's not going to engage in critical thinking skills.
Precisely. It's not.
That's like the stuff. Maybe you can learn some of the K through 12 stuff, but it's not going to learn some of the stuff you learn in college, or definitely not like the stuff in grad school. I didn't go to grad school, but anyway, I dropped out of college.
Anyway, Lorenzo, I'm going to head out.
Okay.
So do some more promo work.
I got to get caught up with the chat. Check out the mic stand. And on Mike Walter's channel, we've got it posted here in the chat. And I'm going to
post it again, in fact.
And I'm going to try to get caught up with the chat a little bit. And Lorenzo like Lorenzo.
He got himself.
And correct, it has parameters. Yeah, AI has parameters.
Yeah, whatever.
Or block terms. I agree. There's a virtual streamer or VTuber named Sama, and she's got a filter, and she'll run into certain things, and I'm calling her sheep, but the computer program is supposedly a sheep, but it's just a program. And the thing is that Neural Sama will run into a problem, or we'll run into a situation, and then just where program's going to, say, I'm just going to call it say something, but what it is text. It's like this text to speech thing, and it'll just say filtered, because it's something that's taboo.
Right, exactly. And that's not thinking. That's not, it's not by any stretch of the imagination what's going on here. And what they're saying, and you've seen this, I'm sure you guys have seen this. Elon Musk is very worried. He's like, look, we're going to see millions upon millions of people out of jobs. And I'm like, that has nothing to do with AI. Computers are programmed. They can do jobs. We have supercomputers that have been capable of doing incredibly complex tasks. They could do any job in the world. What is the big thing about AI that makes it so much better than any other program? It's just kind of a hype. In my opinion.
Sticky Art Shorts, I think he's talking about what's it called? Chat GPI? I don't even know what
Chat GPT.
GPT. Okay, I can't even remember.
GPI,
it's just a fancy search engine.
Magnum PI.
It's just a fancy search engine. That's what he's talking about, right?
and that's pretty much it, right? I mean, I would tend to agree with that, but it seems to be posing this massive danger that people are talking about right now. Good Lord. I mean, if you see, people like on Twitter, and I'm talking about tech people, not people that are just like, yeah, it's not like
the end of the world. We're gonna be taken over by Skynet.
They're talking Skynet type of thing, and I'm like, okay, wait a second, man. In order to be Skynet, you have to think independently of your programmer. So if that is that would be the case. That would have to be the case.
Just hold on a second. I'm sorry to interrupt, but how do you wake up Lady Gaga?
Poker face.
Poker face. Well,
that's pretty good.
Well, I learned something interesting. Bill Clinton no longer plays the saxophone. He only plays the harmonica. I can't. I'm not going to say that. I knew when it was Bill Clinton. I probably shouldn't say it because it's political. But folks can check that out, and they can check that out in the chat. I'm not going to say it. There's a lot of development in robots too, though. Self-learning or so-called self-learning.
But let's get back to, for instance, Isaac Asimov.
The
laws of robotics.
I'm sorry.
Hello, the thing about
you can't violate the laws of robotics.
See, the thing is with Skynet, the Skynet, Skynet is more like a hypothesis. It's more of a what if. AI is like in our attempts to just put something that can read and write data. We put it online, and then by accident, we make it becomes aware on its own. We end up, like to say, creating our own demon in a bottle.
Yes, that is exactly it, and that's why it can never happen, because it has no soul, and it is not capable of insanity. You see, the human mind. Scientists today don't even understand the majority of the human brain and how it works. They understand actually a small percentage of the brain itself and how it really functions. They don't understand how insanity happens, and how things still within the various parts of the brain, left hemisphere, right hemisphere, the whole thing, how certain things develop, like neuroses, how they actually work within the brain. It's a complete mystery in terms of a lot of things to do with neurological sciences. So my question is, if scientists don't know about the human brain, how can somebody say, well, yeah, but I've created artificial intelligence? No, you have not, because you won't have insanity. Computers, unless if the time comes and a computer does go insane, which is what we're talking about, right? You were just talking about Skynet. Think about all of the great science fiction films where the computer does go bonkers, and it does something.
Like hell from 2001.
2001. Also,
Arthur C. Clarke wrote the script.
Yes,
right?
Demon Seed, Dean Koontz. The same thing.
And it was the director was Stanley Kubrick, right?
Stanley Kubrick was 2001. Yes,
2001. Yeah, just like
it was Arthur C. Clarke, and that was the whole thing. It was like, okay, so this is science fiction, what we're talking about, right? Where a computer actually goes rogue. That's really what it is. The computer disregards the human's programming and the laws of robotics, like no harm to humans, etc.
No harm to anything.
You were starting to talk about was it four laws that he came up with?
3 or 4 laws of robotics and iRobot and Foundation.
Let me look it up.
And so that's the smart thing, right? That I think Asimov was completely on the right track, because he was thinking, okay, look, if we have these highly developed computers, we have to give them strict guidelines so they don't destroy us. That's basically what Asimov was getting at there.
Okay, yeah, because it's 3 laws of robotics.
Right.
A robot may not injure a human being or through inaction allow a human being to come to harm. A robot must obey the orders given it by humans, except where such orders conflict was the first law. A robot must protect its own existence as long as such protection does not conflict with the first or second laws.
Yes.
There's an extra there's something he wrote. It's called the inevitable conflict. No machine may harm humanity or through inaction allow humanity to come to harm.
Yeah, and that those make total sense, don't they?
Yeah,
it's like, wouldn't you program that into every system that you would make, especially with AI? Yet they never talk. Have you ever heard of any of these AI guys talking about safeguards for AI? I have never heard one of them speak in terms of like guidelines, rules for computers, so they could not turn on us. Because what they're talking about now, and people are saying it, these are tech people, and they're like, look, we're rapidly moving towards a Skynet situation. And I'm like, okay, look, all you do is you program the freaking computers to not go Skynet. That's it. It should be pretty easy with a universal set of laws.
Well,
hold on a second. I need to get caught up a little bit with what bees make milk instead of honey? Boobies.
Boobies.
What do you call a Mexican? I don't.
Oh, Lord.
I'm not gonna say. Sorry, Tech.
Nah, no, it's just a lame dad joke. I'm more about the joke than the act. That shit's never gonna affect me.
Some of the jokes might be better in like a Discord.
I've been in retail,
than on here.
Hey, I have been in retail restaurant long enough to never ever be affected by insults ever again.
Well, I think these are just like really, really. I think these are intended to be silly and not hurtful or anything.
I know. It's a really lame dad joke, and so I don't care.
No, you don't have to. You don't have to leave. I just
getting back to this.
Just saying, I can't read all these on here.
No,
getting back to
YouTube has no sense of humor.
Thanks, Jilly. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you guys about a video game that came out in the 90s. Getting back to the dawn of the big computer age. Did you guys ever play a game called Blood?
What?
Blood?
Like,
yep. It was called Blood. I'm bleeding.
Blood. No, I have never heard this game.
It was an awesome game. It came out, I want to say, like mid-90s. Okay.
Well, don't worry about it, Jilly. It's just there's a difference between how I joke around a lot more. I can joke around a lot more off air than I can on the.
Okay.
On air, just because YouTube has really silly policies and can't differentiate between a joke.
Okay, YouTube. We're talking about a game called Blood. It was a 3D first-person shooter game that was made by Monolith Productions. And it launched in March 7th, 1997.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. 97.
Even seeing the word blood could be taken out of context.
I know. That's
get to the point where it's just like I guess
That's what I'm telling you.
Might as well just
YouTube
around within
with us.
Reason, But I don't know. Might as well just discuss what we're going to discuss anyway. But gotta be a little bit careful.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not familiar. I don't remember.
I'm not familiar with this game. It's for MS DOS. So it's it says here it's a 3D first person shooter game.
Yes, and it was really cool. It was very suspenseful, atmospheric. There were many levels to it. And of course, you had to fight like zombies and weird creatures, but you would go into these, these realms, these various areas, and they were all very well done. I mean, for the time, we're talking 1997.
Yeah, because I'm looking at it. It actually looks better than Doom.
It was. In my opinion, I think it was.
Yeah, it definitely gets screen share Tech, or would that be kind of? Would you be able to screen share that, or would that be too difficult?
I'm trying to see if I can find images for it because an image for it. Well, the thing is, because like you said, it is a 3D game. There's a lot of demonic stuff on it, and I'm trying to find something that that we can't get in trouble for. That's the issue.
You can get in trouble for demonic stuff. God, my channel. I mean, are you kidding me?
No. Well, I mean, violent. Okay, let me backtrack for the violence. That's on it.
Well, once again,
let me find one that doesn't have something being blown up, and we can go
where it's mostly dialogue. Is that it?
No, that's not it.
Okay,
no, it's
I guess that's a different.
It is a first-person shooter type of thing, and you go through.
Oh, so it's kind of like Doom, or
it is. It is pretty much like Doom. Yeah.
Can you show it?
Oh, I know there was like a whole.
Here we go. There we go.
It's just me trying to find one that doesn't have something exploding on it.
And welcome, Puppet. Thanks for joining us. And Fish 1999. Always great to see you both.
Hey, Fish.
Hey. Yeah. So that's a good shot. That's a pretty good representation. Those flying demons. They had like insane cultists that would try to kill you. And
that looks like a lot of games, like
sea monsters and stuff.
I mean,
it was creepy.
At the time that would have been really. I'm just saying there's a lot of games nowadays that have that sort of stuff.
It's
not too bad to show on YouTube, I don't think.
I know, it was just the thing is me trying to find something that is not exploding in buckets of blood. Like,
because YouTube,
because YouTube it's more YouTube than us. Quite frankly,
YouTube has a thing sometimes against violence, and sometimes
it doesn't. It just depends on what it is. Because
you never know with a small channel like ours how they'll interpret things. You know, if it was like CNN or Fox or MSNBC, they could get away with anything.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
in my opinion, I'll say.
I mean, for all I know, we could say spoon, and somehow we get banned for that.
I don't even.
You're gonna offend the spoon people.
I know the pork people. What are you talking about, man? No,
personally, guys,
it's a silly eggshell walk-on type deal.
Yeah, please like and share the stream. I'm still trying to get the word out that we're streaming. We're like an hour into the stream. I still haven't. I shared it on Twitter, but not Discord.
I'm putting it on Twitter now.
No, thanks. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
no. I mean,
any little bit helps. As far as
I said, I honestly I wouldn't care what we put on. It's just that like I said, YouTube is just being silly when it does stuff. So I was trying to find something with the least amount of blood on it.
Did you put a notice? Oh, there you go. All right, I'm retweeting yours, Lorenzo, on Twitter.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that.
So we got that. Guys, here's the thing. Yeah, I on my channel, like for instance, of course, I show like trailers from movies. I do a lot of stuff where it's I get back into the 60s, 70s, and 80s films.
Mm-hmm.
I find trailers and I show them. Some of the trailers have nudity.
Okay,
I show them.
Oh, really?
Some of them have extreme gore. I show them. And I'll tell you this, what happens, and I'm just going to say this straight up. I've gotten, whacked by YouTube a couple of times for thumbnails. I put a thumbnail up that had bare breasts in it, and they got it. They took it down, and then they warned me. They said, if you do that again, you'll be banished for a week.
Well, but what do they have against bears? Bears.
They have mammary glands. I know.
Yeah, bears do. Bear breasts.
I think it's the whole necessity. I think it's the whole Russian problem.
Oh, what do you call fish wearing a bow tie? Sophisticated.
Ouch.
Shared the stream on YouTube.
Humanity.
Forum, YouTube policy is awful. Says Fish 1999. Well, thank you so much. And
it's more confusing than anything else.
Welcome, is it Sonia?
It is confusing.
Or Sanaya?
Because that's what sometimes it feels like. If you just sneeze, and you
right, exactly. Yeah, it is really weird.
We got a viewer from Pakistan. Well, welcome.
Welcome. Welcome.
It's always,
From Pakistan,
good to
that's
have
obvious.
viewers
That-
from around the world.
That's totally great.
Yeah.
Well, that's unbearable.
Oh.
About the bear.
Hey, but guys, like for instance, I was going to say with you, you're absolutely right. You never know what they're going to get you for on YouTube.
Yeah, they could just make anything up.
Right. And the way I look at it is, for instance, I cover a lot of magazines, comic books, and movies. I will cover like heavy metal and Metal Hurlant. Now, those magazines are adult magazines, right? I mean, you look in, they have art which has nudity and occasional gore or violence or whatever. I show it all. I'm just like, look, if they want to get me for that, for heavy metal magazine, I don't know what to say. If they're going to ban me for that, then I'd rather be banned. Personally, it's just not worth it. I'll just go to Rumble and BitChute.
The problem I have with going to I've checked out those places, and the problem I have is they don't have much music or art on there. It's almost all like politics, and it's
right.
All
Rumble,
of it's from one particular part of the aisle.
Right.
But,
Rumble, you're right.
It's not completely that way, though.
Yeah, BitChute has actually got quite a few art channels.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes. They have,
okay.
and movie channels.
Oh, well, things have changed then. Oh,
yeah, because the last time I was on BitChute, it was like everything politics. It's like
right. Yeah, and sometimes it'd be those guys who dress up like ghosts and white sheets, but I won't say who they are. It's just leave it to people's imagination, It's like, I don't necessarily want to be on there, with my channel.
No, it's just like I said. It's like the last time I was on BitChute, it was more politics than anything else. There was like no music.
As a matter of fact, it still is more politics. But they have gotten a lot of people. There are people that do the same thing I do. They look at books or magazines or films, stuff like that. And then there are, of course, the people that show films, things like that, just like on YouTube. It really and you're not going to get popped. That's really what it comes down to, guys.
Well, because I stream on PicArt, which I'm going to do a stream for tomorrow. The $30 sketch streams. Basically, you come to the stream, you ask for whatever, and for $30, I'll do that one character, so you can be.
Okay, where is
PicArto?
I've never heard of it.
Is
that a platform?
It's a platform called PicArto.tv. PicArto.tv. PicArto.
With a T instead of a D.
Here, let me.
It's like Captain Picard, but it's with a T instead of a D, and it ends with an O.
PICARTO.
Yeah, it's just that when I do those streams, they're usually of the Lewitt variety. So you can get normal stuff, but most of the time I'll get people asking me for the Lewitt stuff. And so
for the lewd stuff, yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah,
but PicArto, you can have regular stuff and not safe for work stuff, and it's just a matter of how you present yourself. It's just that when I started on PicArto, I was doing the Lewitt stuff for money. So still doing it for money.
Sure. Yeah.
Exactly. By the way, so let's see. Oh, Battle Puppets a mod, and so is now, and so is Sonoya.
Oh, yeah.
I hope I pronounced that right. And Dog of Downtown well, that's an interesting name. Fish 1999 channel here. Also here shared on YouTube forum. Thanks.
Dogs of Downtown
Jelly D says, do you know how to make a pool table laugh? Tickle its balls. No.
Oh no!
That's awesome.
We're gonna have to send you the honey jar for that one.
How many too much?
I think that guy was
warnings. Wow. Yes, I have 4 huge channels, art and political topics. Well,
Oh, there you
I'll
go.
check out the art ones. Dear NASA, your mom thought I was big enough. Oh, NASA. Jilly, very funny. Love Pluto. And anyway, check out
there you go. Thank you.
channel on Arto.tv. And
got it.
And people are
yes. Usually I do it in the afternoon, so I usually try to do like 4 or 5. But I might start earlier just to see if I can, because I need
So
hey, Chan Mario.
A question.
Yeah.
I'm almost caught up with the chat.
So they don't have a problem with nudity.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a problem with nudity.
Nope. No. As long as you put yourself behind the not safe for work banner, you're good. You can
people can read what's on the screen, and I won't say it out loud, but people.
So you can put it on as long as you put it on not safe for work banner, or the adult channel, whatever you want to call it.
I gotcha. Right. Yeah. So they have that, and technically they have that on Rumble too. You have to. I mean. And I would
you have to mark yourself as
not safe for work.
As not safe for work.
Right. Exactly. Or they might take your video down. Yeah, I guess.
But because as of late, there's a lot of people who have been doing video game stuff too on there too. Well, every once in a while we'll get the knucklehead who's trying to spoil it for the rest of us. But
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, you're not supposed to put that on here. They even, And then, we'll get, like I said, every once in a while, we'll get the knucklehead who tries to put stuff that's not supposed to be on here. Because I know there's another live streaming service. I went over there and I checked it out, and oh my god, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go to jail for this site. No, thank you. I think it was Live D or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
God,
PicArt is pretty good. PicArt is pretty good for a lot of your anime artists, a lot of your indie artists, and there's a guy that he does a furry comic called Two Kinds or something like that. He's on there. If you follow that creator.
Oh, okay. Well, I just dropped my link also in the chat. Yeah. Tomorrow night we're doing a show about it's the 100th anniversary of Weird Tales, pulp magazine, nice. From which sprang Robert E. Howard, and Conan, of course, and H.P. Lovecraft. All kinds of writers came out of Weird Tales, and this is the 100th anniversary. It started in 1923, March of 1923, folks. Okay. And so here's the weird thing about it. Up until about a week ago, I was not aware of a movie about Robert E. Howard that actually exists. It was made in the 90s. Mm-hmm. And I found it, and it is really quite interesting. Robert E. Howard, I don't know if people are aware, but he was quite popular, obviously, as the writer of Conan and other characters and so forth. He even wrote some horror tales for Weird Tales. But he took his own life, I believe, in 1936. This was about a year before H.P. Lovecraft died of cancer. And, I mean, these guys, they led kind of largely tragic and extremely poor lives. I mean, we're talking Lovecraft was destitute when he died. He would be worth billions of dollars now.
Yeah, I know. That's what sucks. No,
like Edgar Allan Poe.
Yeah, you die a starving artist, but become a rich thing when you're dead. A rich dead man.
Right.
I'm like,
I think, isn't that the trade-off though? Because these guys, like for instance, Edgar Allan Poe, H.P. Lovecraft, Mary Shelley, Bram Stoker, all
their stuff is popular after the fact,
Well, for hundreds of years, and it will remain that way, and they will be remembered, even though at least to my knowledge, Poe, Lovecraft, and Howard died in relative poverty.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know, and unknown at the time. Lovecraft, he died. He was like, well, nobody's going to remember my shit. I'm dying, and that's it. And of course, it was just years after that August Derleth created Arkham House, and just completely Lovecraft went through the roof. I mean, he became this hugely popular writer who has endured for the last, 100 years, since his first story was Dagon in Weird Tales, March. I know it was October issue of 1923. So that will be coming up this October. Will be the 100th anniversary of his first story published in Weird Tales. So I'm doing the show I'm doing tomorrow night is really more about Robert E. Howard. So if you guys have any interest in the Conan sagas, the other stuff that Howard did, and his really kind of unusual life and his relationship with what appears to be his only girlfriend that he had. And this film is really, half of the film is about her. She was a teacher, lived in the same town that he did. And she was trying to get into writing, and she was inspired by Howard, but she was also kind of repulsed by him. So it's a really interesting film. Renee Zellweger plays the woman, and Vincent, I think it's Vincent.
Wow, that's cool.
Vincent D'Onofrio plays Robert E. Howard, and they're great. The acting is fantastic. It is currently, guys, it's currently on Tubi. You can watch it. It's called The Whole Wide World. It came out in 1996.
I have a question for you, Horror Mike.
Yes.
So, two vegans get into an argument. Do they still have a beef?
Ouch.
Oh, and Chad.
Thank you, Chad.
Awesome.
I appreciate it, Chad.
Yeah, thanks,
you guys.
Chad.
I hope to see you tomorrow night, Lorenzo, as well. I think you're going to like
I
this
hope
show.
To be there. I sometimes I actually get really, really worn out after I host my show.
I understand. I am totally zapped after I do mine.
Oh, so I'm not the only one.
Oh no!
I thought it was just my health issues and stuff, but
no, it's after you're doing like a couple of hours live, and it gets you. I mean, I've done. Have you guys ever been on like a 5 or 6 hour marathon, or even longer? I guess
I have.
Well, there's a future TJ. Oh yeah, that's the same. Okay,
it just kind of becomes like
TJ.
an odyssey.
I remember sending you the link earlier,
but for me, even 2 hours is like just.
I think once upon a time we did here was Lorenzo. We did a 6 hour show.
We've done longer than that.
We've done longer,
like 8 or 9 hours in the past, but
no. I think one time before all of this, I was actually streaming on my own, and I think I started at 2 p.m. and I didn't finish till 3 a.m. But I took like an hour and a half to get up and eat something and then sit back down and got back to it. But most of that was me drawing and drawing commission work. People would come in and like, hey, I have a $30 commission. Cool, let's get to it.
Chad,
is
DK a YouTuber? That sounds familiar. If so, please, you can feel free to promote your friends' channels.
Doing the horror conventions. Man,
you guys can promote your enemies' channels too if you want, but just don't have people go and use this chat to dogpile them or anything. I had good stuff.
I had a film playing at the Mega. Have you guys heard of Mega?
I'll be right back.
I can't read that one. Sorry.
Have you guys heard of MegaCon? Does that ring a bell? MegaCon. It's just one of those gigantic, 130,000 people show up type of thing. They're huge. They get like 100 different actors, celebrities, and it's one of those. It's kind of like San Diego Comic-Con type of deal where you've got a lot of comic artists and you've got celebrities from films and TV and so forth, and they have their own film festival. So my film Haunted Thrills, which is on my channel, by the way, guys, it's about pre-code horror comic books. I did a documentary.
Oh, that sounds
about
cool.
And
wait a second. I almost pressed. I tried to focus on you, and I almost pressed ban from studio.
Oops.
That's scary.
In any case, yeah, it's called Haunted Thrills. It's on my channel, and so it was selected to be shown at MegaCon, and that was the last convention that I attended, and it was really quite good. In reality, it turned out really well. I don't think I would go to one of those again, though, because it was just like wall to wall people. I could not believe it, man. I was, the convention I attended before that, I thought was pretty big, and there were like 10 or 12,000 people at that one, and I thought, God, this is pretty big. It was Spooky Empire. That was another convention. It's here in Florida. I'm here in Florida, guys.
So I'm sorry, Chad Mario posted the link. I was asking him to post his friend's link.
Doomsday
a
Crypt.
DK person who attends what was it, horror conventions, I believe?
Conventions, yeah.
Yeah.
I get out to some. Usually what happens, I'll attend the conventions when I have a film playing at a festival that's part of the convention, so
so apparently this guy does interviews. With indie actors? Do you do things like that as well?
Not as much, Lorenzo. I will have the occasional guest on, but it is wildly varied. Like, for instance, I've had a guest on, this guy he's a horror fiction writer. He's written a few books, stuff like that. It really depends. If somebody comes up to me and they're like, hey, look, I got this going on, I'd love to be on your show, then we'll just do it. I'm very casual about that. As a matter of fact, the following Friday, there's a guy that's got an Indiegogo comic book project going. He's coming on the show.
Speaking of which, tomorrow. Rex Devil Flyer just posted
Devil Flyer. And I got mine. I got my Devil Flyer ass.
Yeah, I got mine too. I'm afraid if I open the package, will there be a bunch of things that'll fall out easily, or will it be easily contained?
Yes. It's easily contained.
Okay.
It is pretty easily contained. And I talked about it on last Friday's show. I talked about the book and the extras that you get along with it, which are really cool. I love Golden Age superhero characters. They're really awesome. I mean, that's one thing in the realm of superhero stuff. I just love that. Like, one of my favorite superhero. Oh, go ahead.
This is just
nowadays it's just you see somebody. It's like there's a cover, and it's like somebody taking a selfie, or they're eating a pizza or something. And I know most of the comics aren't like that, and maybe that's just the cover or whatever, but I like the ones where the older comics have like a lot of action on the cover.
Yes.
Times, and
that's
totally what I want to see. That's what gets me interested. I'm not that enthusiastic about someone eating pizza, though I do believe that has its place. If somebody, I've heard manga, there's even mangas about people fishing,
Yeah, there's just a lot of bait and switch garbage.
Yeah.
Where it's just like they get a famous,
as far as comics.
They get a famous artist. He does the cover, and then it's like the art on the inside is just like, what the hell,
That's the thing.
That's a lot with Marvel and DC. They do that all the time. They do it all the freaking time. And the thing about the Indiegogo stuff, a lot of indie comics creators, is that typically I find they don't do that. The art, like, they're going to do their own cover. And so the artist is going, it's going to be basically the same art on the interior. So it's not
there are a lot of varying covers, I've noticed.
Well, variant cut. You mean with DC and Marvel and stuff?
Well, even with, I'm saying like with say with say Comicsgate or any sort of indie.
They do. Yes.
Yeah,
they do.
It might have a different artist, like.
But they'll have good art inside, like Cordrath, for instance. You know Andy Smith's Cordrath. It's kind of like Conan.
Oh yeah, that looks.
He's got like 6 or 7. I feel
kind of bad for Vic King because he came out with his Bale War like the same. He had been working on it for months, and the same month, what was that other book that you mentioned?
Cordrath.
That came out the same month, and it's like. And I think that other guy's like maybe more, he's like an established artist, right?
Oh, he's been working for decades.
So like poor Vic, you know, he's
worked for DC
he's an up and coming artist, you know, and he's trying to he's just like had 2 barbarian books at the same time.
Oh,
people can both buy them both, you know, if they want.
Yeah,
you know?
The thing.
Yeah, I mean, right now I haven't I have my. I have my comic on Subscribestar. I'm only a couple pages in, but no one's even not even for $1 just to come take a peek. I'm like, oh man, what am I doing wrong?
I can't. Sorry, Jill, can't read that one on there, but I can read this one. How do you make your girlfriend scream during whoopee? Call and tell her about it.
Ouch! Ouch!
Well, you can check out the other one that she wrote. I don't think I.
You know, that's the thing. That's the thing. I
disavow
about being original, though, Lorenzo, because in reality, right now there are dozens of, for instance, sword and sorcery, Conan type stuff, projects, Indiegogos. They're all over the place. The thing is to find something that's unique and original. And for instance, I think that's with Devil Flyer. The character I think is totally original. He's really cool looking. You know, I mean,
that's kind of like a gold. That's more like a Golden Age comic, isn't it?
Well, it's in the style of a Golden Age.
Yeah, the
comic.
style. I mean,
exactly. And that was kind of like,
I mean,
yeah.
I don't know when he came up with the character, but it's a brand new Ashcan, and because I know a lot of people spend decades. Might even spend decades. They could spend their whole life on a character, but they might not release a comic book until they're like in their 50s or 60s, even, you know, or
that's
or
true. That is true.
Or 30s or 40s or whatever, you know.
Sure.
Because I know that's the case with a lot of people. There are a lot of people in this indie scene are new to comics. I'm actually.
Hey, I've been trying to get into
I'm severely dyslexic, so I don't really. I have a really hard time with my dyslexia and being on the autism spectrum and my problems with reading comprehension. For some reason, I have a harder time with fiction. Though I used to read a lot of Edgar Allan Poe, and I could read his stuff, but like I can read like nonfiction, like a college textbook. But I go to read a comic, and it's got pictures, and I try to read the words, and sometimes it just doesn't sink in. Like if I hear it as an audiobook, that would be something that I could totally understand the plot for an audiobook. But I think something about having to both read the letters and then with fiction, a lot of times it has to do with like, I was going to say making a mental image, even with images in, being in the comic book, I still have a hard time with reading a fictional comic book. If it's like based on someone's life experiences, like I bet I could read the Chaplin comic book easy. I don't know why that's the case.
I mean, the thing is that you're supposed to be you should be able to tell a story with just the panels. If you can tell a story with just the panels and no dialogue, congratulations, you're pretty good at it.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's really just the dialogue I have a hard time with.
And that's usually the problem with some people is that they'll choose they'll choose to be random with their story and nothing connects the way it should, and some people get lost. Well, what the fuck was happening? What's going on here? Why are they attacking this guy? Why is Magneto helping the good guy, or why is this person doing that thing?
Oh man, those movies are just so cringeworthy. It's incredible. I mean, like, just as far as logic throughout. I mean, if you watch some of these Marvel Universe films that are like $100 billion movies with a $10 script, they write these things and they just don't seem to give a damn about continuity or logic at all. And it's not as though, like, if you look at the 60s, 70s, 80s comics of those characters, they did make sense. I mean, they were very basic stories, but they had a continuity, and, you know, they went from, you know, book to book, and they would fight their different foes and so forth. And it generally made pretty much sense. But with the movies, there are just these huge gaps in logic that I'm watching. I'm like, wow. Okay, how did they miss that? How did
so
they
even though they're part of this huge cinematic universe, they don't all tie together? Because I don't really watch. Once movies became so trendy that they were putting out one after another, and that's basically much of what Hollywood was focusing on was the superhero movies. I just kind of gave up because there were so many of them, and it got overwhelmed. But like when the first Iron Man came out, I saw that at the theater.
Yeah, I did too.
That was some of the early ones. If not theater, like you know, I saw them like on DVD or whatever. You know,
well, I saw the first.
Let's take
Spider-Man.
Let's take Thanos. In the comics, the reason Thanos snapped half the universe was because he had an infatuation with death, and then he thought if he killed half the universe, death would be into him. In the movies, he did it for more population control, which like that doesn't make sense.
Right. They would change
it's either you're still gonna run out of resources, or you're gonna or the population is just gonna grow back, and those sources are still gonna be consumed at the rate it was beforehand. You're not, unless you're gonna continuously cut the universe in two every so often to keep it from overgrowing itself. There wasn't a point of snapping half the universe and then destroying the weapon that allows you to snap half the universe. It makes no sense. Had they just went was like, oh, this dude is freaking psychotic, we need to stop him before he does anything else, it probably would have made more sense than what the logic they use for Thanos. Because it's just like because in the end it's going to come down to resources are not infinite anywhere.
Yeah. And that's the difference. Like, for instance, you mentioned the first Iron Man film, Lorenzo, and you guys know that film is good. Yeah. It's a solid, Marvel like adaptation. Just like the first couple of Sam Raimi Spider-Man films, I thought were just excellent.
Oh so that was something I watched the Green Goblin. I don't know if I saw the second, but I first saw the first Sam Raimi.
You have the one with Willem Dafoe as the Green Goblin.
Oh, yeah.
I can't believe they put a mask on that guy's face. I cannot believe Willem Dafoe has got such a face where he could, and they did try an animatronic goblin face. I don't know if you guys ever saw that. There's test footage on YouTube.
Yeah, the test footage. That's what. Yeah, I've seen
and
that.
It looked freaking great.
Yeah,
it looked so good. And then they just made this metal mask that he wears, and I was just like, "Oh my god,
why did you do that?"
Right? It just takes away because Willem Dafoe is sitting there, going, "I'm going to get you, Spider-Man," and you can't see his face when he's doing it, because he's wearing a freaking mask.
The emote he was doing is like, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, because the shots was you see the shots of them without it.
Yeah. However,
Green Gobbler #1. Well,
Green Gobbler.
Green Gobbler.
That sounds like one of those
I think that's
porno movies.
Right. That's a Pornhub thing or something. I don't know.
Well,
but in any case, I'm not knocking. I mean, that film, aside from The Mask, which I didn't like, I love the film.
Well, what do you call someone who refuses to fart in public? A private tutor.
Oh.
Dilly D says last one. Well, thanks.
I thought the second one with Doc Octopus was actually better.
Yeah, actually.
I like that a lot.
But, yeah, Spider-Man 2 was one of those rare movies where Spider-Man.
Well, wait a second. What's the difference between a pickpocket and a peeping Tom? One snatches your watch, the other watches your snatch. Okay, that's kind of.
No, I mean, Spider-Man 2 was one of those rare movies where the sequel was actually better than the first one.
Yes. Yeah, you're absolutely right, man. The way that they did Doc Ock was fantastic. And of course they got a great actor to play Doc Ock. I mean, it was really such a well done film. And I think that was like a high point of the, if you want to call it the MCU. I mean, it was so early then.
Early MCU,
very early.
Wait, are you talking about Sam Raimi?
Yeah, Sam Raimi.
Was that even the MCU, or was that?
MCU?
I thought the MCU started with Iron Man.
Before.
It
was before.
It was before. Yeah, so you can't really even say it's early MCU because it was
pre-MCU.
It's not, at least not the modern Marvel Cinematic
It's one of the greatest Marvel adaptations ever made.
Oh yeah,
there's no doubt. And the original Iron Man, I would put up there. I'd rank it up there with that one as well.
Jilly D, take care.
Man.
Yeah, take care. I think my problem was the current Spider-Man is that they made him too reliant on Tony, and I'm like,
yeah,
they're like, why is he relying on Tony? It's like because he wasn't like that in the comics until like Civil War, I think. And even then, Civil War fucked up both their characters.
Right, and here's a big question. Like, for instance, what really kind of gets me is that you look at the Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
The Hulk. Okay, you start off with the Hulk with Eric Bana, right? And then they do the remake with Ed Norton, isn't it? Yeah, Ed Norton.
Edward Norton. But the problem is,
and they use the same plot. They use the same characters. They've got it's the Abomination, right? And I'm like, okay.
No, it's not the Abomination. The first one was actually
Absorbing Man.
Hey, but wasn't it the same? Didn't they use that same character in the Norton?
No.
One too?
No,
they did not.
They used Absorbing Man in the first Hulk movie.
Was that the Eric Bana?
No, Eric, and the Eric Bana movie, that was the Absorbing Man. In the Incredible Hulk, that was the Abomination.
There are different
Hulk
different
characters. Because the Absorbing Man for the Eric Bana one was actually the father, who became the Absorbing Man.
Right. Hold on.
Then they had different powers.
And then the Edward Norton was
there it is.
I can't say his name right.
Abomination.
I know Abomination, but I can't remember.
Try to come. The actor's name, or
the character's name.
Roski.
Roski. There you go.
Roski. Anyway, the Abomination was basically
interesting. With the latest Spider-Man movie, it now makes the Spider-Man before MCU part of the MCU. Oh, go ahead, Geass. I'm sorry.
Well, Abomination was basically like an evil Hulk. He had the same power set, comparable strength, all that sort of stuff.
But he was
Absorbing Man, on the other hand, was able to basically turn himself into whatever he could touch, like glass, metal, plastic, whatever he could get his hands on. And, that did enhance his strength a bit and make him durable depending on what he got his whole hand on. I remember in the cartoon series, he got his hands on Mjolnir at one point, which backfired horribly.
Oh yeah, no, it was a TV the animated series where I have now all the power all the powers of Mjolnir. Oh, and Thor's like, oh, in that case, if that's the case, then I control you like I control Mjolnir, and it just it was funny as fuck. It was like he was Thor was having a field day with that. And the Exorbitant Man was like, yeah, you're a fucking idiot.
Man, he sounds like a paper towel.
Yeah,
Like
what
a
did they
call
him? Though?
Man.
I mean, did they call him the Absorbing Man in the movie?
No, but that's basically what it was.
I don't remember them calling Borowski Abomination in the movie. I mean, he was called that in the She-Hulk series, but I don't recall. Like, movies had a tendency to shy away from using the villains' actual code names.
Yeah, like the Shocker wasn't called the Shocker in was it Homecoming? Yeah, Homecoming.
Yeah, Homecoming.
Yeah, and the Vulture wasn't called the Vulture. Yeah, but we all know he's the Vulture.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, and then because the second one they had Mysterio.
Yeah, that one actually called him Mysterio, but it was also funny how they did that.
Yeah,
like the kids named him Peter Edith that, and he just said, "Oh, I like that name. I'm going with that."
Mm-hmm.
What the bloody hell?
That actually fits very well with his character.
Yeah.
Daniel, what are you drawing?
Oh, boobs.
Okay, that's why I've got it on my screen. Apparently.
Sorry.
No, don't apologize.
No, I was fixing a weird line in the
Battle 2 men.
Yeah, and I was way too zoomed in. My shoulder just decided to go, nah, not today. Oh yeah, we were supposed to have the leader. He was in the because it was the guy, Mr. Blue, who eventually becomes the leader, and he was supposed to show up for other movies, but
he joined the man group.
The whole sequel thing didn't really work out.
Yeah,
like they probably planned on having a sequel to the Hulk, to the MCU version of the Hulk by now, but they never got around to actually doing so.
So what was the Absorbing Man like a character in the comic books?
Yeah,
yes.
But in the comics, he's not. It's not the father. It's some dude who like many other villains.
I gotcha.
Kind of like the Sandman, who he got.
So he's not like the brawny guy.
No.
Okay, that's right.
That would be great. That would look like the brawny guy.
No, I think he's actually married to Titana. I think that was her name. Or they're a couple or something in the comics. I know they're a couple in the comics.
And he's like, he shows up and he's like, I'm the quicker picker upper. And he just like absorbs people like horribly, and they like their flesh absorbs into his body. No, that'd be great.
No, it's just
he also picks up all the ladies too.
So basically,
basically
his he can change the property of his molecules. I think, or the atomic structure. His atomic structure to change to mimic the structure of whatever it is that he's touching, whether it be concrete, steel, adamantium, Mjolnir, for those who don't know what I'm talking about. And then so radiation, he could become nuclear radiation. He can turn himself literally into a walking fusion reactor and kill everything inside. But they don't. Creed has his last name. Yeah. So I don't know why in the movie they made the Zobberman Banner's father, but in the
real name is
in the
Creed,
comics,
apparently. Zobberman's real name is Creed.
Last name is Creed.
Oh, okay.
We
were supposed to have the leader in the Hulk sequel that Disney doesn't want to make?
The Molten Man and the Mandarin. Well, technically, they merged the Molten Man with the Mandarin, with whatever the guy the main villain for 3.
Oh, is this in response to Chad's message?
But they also made a Mandarin a joke character for that too, because Ben Kingsley was playing the joke version of that character.
That's right.
And I was so mad about that. I was like, it is really.
Boy, yeah, they really. I mean, the Iron Man 2 and 3, I did not like. I got to tell you, I mean, after the first one, which was so awesome, I was just really disappointed with the second two. I mean, the second one was, oh my God, wasn't it the guy? It was who was the actor? The guy that
Terrence Howard got himself canned because he was asking for more money.
Angel Heart, the guy that played in Angel Heart, Mickey Rourke.
Mickey Rourke, yeah,
he's in Iron Man 2.
Yeah, he plays Whiplash, and
he plays Whiplash, right? Exactly. And I just thought, I just couldn't get into it, man. It just didn't really.
Who dies in the most stupid way possible.
Oh, good day to you as well, Hockey. And hey, Carol's Cookie, Carol Colors. I'm so sorry. I know don't go by your not last name, your previous name. Gosh.
And then they had the third one was even worse though.
They made an insult of the Mandarin.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, you took one of his biggest villains and you turned him into a joke.
The Mandarin.
Oh, there you are, TJ. And hey, Pascali, 369, just wanted to say hello, but I have an appointment tonight, so I cannot hang out long. Well, it's good to
see you.
Cannot hang out. Well, it's good to see you. And they just
that was the thing.
Was it Marduk?
Mark too. That's interesting.
The joke.
It just seems like they tried so hard to add so many different foes into the later MCU movies.
I know
they didn't really need to do it, because when you read the comic books, if you adapted the comic books correctly, you could deal with one or two foes over a series of like 4 comic books. You would have yourself a really great movie that was more, how would you say, like localized, as opposed to trying to throw all of these special effects, jam all of these effects into one film, and all of these characters, which they do. They just constantly are doing. And
yeah, they're so far they're on cue for destroying characters left and right. I mean,
yes,
heroes and villains alike. I mean, at this point, I don't think I want them to do Doom, because I'm afraid what they're going to do to Doom, and because
by the way, CD, I don't know. You keep asking me to pen your stuff, but you would have to like post the link to your channel.
Yeah, for instance, it's incredible, the Fantastic Four films, which I think have all been pretty much crap, except
not incredible.
It's really bad when Roger Corman's 1994 Fantastic Four film is the most interesting of all of the Fantastic Four films, and for the wrong reasons. As a matter of fact, there's a great. Have you guys seen the documentary on the making of that film?
No.
It's on Tubi. You gotta see it. It is on Tubi. It is like an amazing tale of fraud and deception. That film, it was designed. I mean, it was a total tax type of situation.
I thought it was more to hold on to the rights of to shoot a Fantastic Four movie, so they had to make anything.
That was the outer idea. right? That was like the presumptive idea. But it's hilarious because, of course, they interview Corman. Corman made his money. He totally made his money. The film was never even released, and the guy made his freaking money. It was such a scam. The whole thing was it's amazing. And so the sad thing is that in the documentary, they're like interviewing the actors, and these guys are like really pumped. They're like, "Oh yeah, we made this Fantastic Four movie," you know, and they're all ready for this big premiere. And it never happened. It was they just shelved the film, you know. And of course, look, it was $1 million film, extraordinarily low budget, especially for a film dealing with the Fantastic Four. No doubt about that. But still, I watched the later iterations of the FF, and they're worse. They're bad. They were just so bad. I couldn't watch them. I literally could not finish watching either reboot of the Fantastic Four.
The Rise of Fantastic Four. It was a genuine waste of Lawrence Fishburne.
Man,
he voiced the Silver Surfer. Like, dude, you had Lawrence Fishburne, and you didn't use this dude, you know, for your movie correctly. And why?
Oh, hey, Shadowhawk Talks, and please, folks, like and share if you like what you're watching. And
Shadowhawk.
or you can give us a thumbs down if you don't like what we're watching. You know.
Yeah, the and that's the whole thing. It's like Silver Surfer. A Silver Surfer film, just your basic Silver Surfer film with Galactus would be so awesome.
It pissed me off. They turn him into a freaking cloud of poo.
I'm like, what the hell is that?
He looked like a purple cloud of fart. It was a floating in the sky.
Exactly. What is that? What is the? I mean, God, you just want to ring. It's these studio executives, these freaking people that have no clue. And, it's just, they let anything happen because they don't know. They're absolutely clueless. They aren't familiar with the source material at all. And so they're like, yeah, Galactus is a big farting cloud. Okay, fine. Put him in there. That's what Galactus is.
Oh, welcome, Gary.
And
Shadowhawk Talk says, hi, everyone. Got caught up on the Silver Hat Chat. So, by the way, I don't know. I want to mention something. I hate to bring people down, but the thing is, there's a guy who is a big supporter of a lot of the indie comic, channels named James Hayes, and sadly he passed away. I've heard, and I'm really saddened to hear that. He was always somebody who would like always drop the link to this channel, and just it was like a big time supporter of indie comics. And this bread is awake for your stream. Got glued to a book, so I'm awake at 2:44 a.m. Well, thanks, Carrie.
Wow, that is getting late.
Well, I mean, I'm the night owl, so that's actually nothing.
Yeah.
So was it mom? Is it mom out? I pinned your link, but I can't figure out. It shows your so that there's no such channel or something along those lines. I mean, I'm paraphrasing. Hey, LCX. So maybe the link's just not working to whatever one you sent. It worked the last time around, though. So, yeah, RP to James Hayes. Hey, rest in peace, a memory eternal. Oh,
hey, so did any of you guys ever read the 2-issue story of the Silver Surfer by Mobius and Stan Lee?
No.
No, but by the way, Mike, do you know, hate to interrupt, but do you know Did you know James Hayes? Because he was in Rex's chat a lot.
No, I never.
Oh, okay.
Never met him.
I'm sorry to keep interrupting.
It's always sad to hear about the passing of a fan, though.
Yeah.
You know.
But we're just saying, I'm so sorry.
It's a two-parter. There's 2 comic books. Mobius, the artist that did so many, incredible works for Metal Hurlant and heavy metal. He was hired by Stan Lee. Stan Lee wrote the story. Mobius did the art. They did a 2-part Silver Surfer, where Silver Surfer is basically battling Galactus, and it's like it's hardcore. It's so good. I mean, and it would make such a great movie. When I read the 2-parter, I was like, this would translate into a feature film. But you would have to have Galactus as Galactus, not a silver or not a purple cloud flying around.
A fart.
A fart. Yeah. I mean, he would have to be the real Galactus, and he's just like blowing up buildings. He's blasting. I mean, it is like, kind of apocalyptic, in this story, and it's great. I mean, Silver Surfer is awesome. It would make for such a great film, and it's not to take away from the earlier, Fantastic Four and Silver Surfer and Galactus stuff, the Kirby stuff and so forth, which is great and would also make for great film adaptations. Also, it's kind of like that. That's one thing that really killed me with the Black Panther. Like, I don't know if you guys ever read the late 70s Kirby Stan Lee Black Panther. When it came out, he had his own comic book, and it was Jack Kirby drawing it.
Oh, man, I really haven't got to see all the old stuff.
The first 6 issues are incredible. It would make for an awesome movie. I mean, they don't bullshit around it. It is just it's wall to wall action. It's really great science fiction as well, with the Black Panther. And when I heard about the movies coming out, I was like, oh my God, this could be great if they go back to some of that source material. And of course, they did not. They didn't. It was just like, okay, no.
Hey, Carla, welcome to the chat.
It didn't work.
I really didn't like the way Killmonger too much. It's like I know this character is I think Killmonger was a Captain America villain, wasn't he?
Maybe. There's only a few Marvel and DC superheroes that I'm really even familiar with, and Black Panther is just like in that line of the early Black Panther with Kirby and Lee, and so forth, and it's like the 6 million year man, that type of thing, which is nobody ever talks about, unfortunately. So I'm not really quite sure about that. What was the character you mentioned?
Killmonger.
Killmonger. When does Killmonger come in?
Killmonger was in the first movie, but I'm looking for him. I'm looking at his appearance up now.
Okay.
I'm looking he showed up in Jungle Action No. 6.
Yeah.
September 1973. Oh yeah.
Jungle Action.
He's depicted as a skilled hunter and mercenary born in the fictional Africa of Wakanda, who holds a grudge against the country and its people for his biological parents were killed when he was young. Raised outside of Wakanda, he eventually returned as a revolutionary leader and terrorist to exact his revenge, and repeatedly challenged the nation's king and protector, the Black Panther, who became his most prominent adversary. The character has been
and that, I am familiar with a few of those early Jungle Action issues, but Killmonger, I'd have to see him. I'd have to see it. I'm sure it would probably ring a bell if I saw the character.
Well, basically, what they changed in the movie versus to the comic is that in the movie he was made a a family member. In the comics, he was a citizen among all the Wakandans. So he wasn't even and he was still in Wakanda when
right.
So eventually, and I guess he eventually left Wakanda for the world, and he fell into America.
Okay. Yeah, I lasted about 15 minutes on the Black Panther film. I was just like, okay, this is nothing that I remember at all from the original Black Panther.
I remember
it was just slow as hell. People were just standing around talking. It was really bad.
I remember there were some people complaining that about alleged racism in China, and what had happened. But what had really happened was that people were watching it in 3D, and there was something wrong with the projector. So when they were saying things are too dark, they weren't talking about the pigment of the people. They meant that the scenes were, and this is a problem I have with a lot of movies. Regardless of, even if there's green men like myself in there, if the lighting's not good,
it's gonna look silly.
And that's what I'm worried about with the Little Mermaid movie. Is it looks like plus I don't like these live action reboots, but of every single great classic cartoon, but this looks like some of those scenes are just like not brightly lit enough.
No.
I had a problem. That problem with that was a big problem I had with Wonder Woman. I liked Wonder Woman. I know I'm mixing like Disney and
because I was seeing
DC and all these different companies that aren't related, but
because I was seeing clips for apparently they're having some issues with the VFX, mainly because one shot makes the actress who's playing Ariel, her eyes look so far apart. She looks more like an alien.
Oh, that's what they were talking about on Twitter. That's what they were.
I saw that.
Yeah, I wondered why where that picture came from.
So I'm guessing it's either someone tampered with the photo, or the VFX, or they made her a VFX for one shot for no reason. Like you VFX your actress.
That is weird. That is totally
why would you
weird.
do that?
Thanks for joining us, Bone. Please like and share if you enjoy what you're seeing.
What were they trying to do? Were they trying to make her look more like a sponge or something? She looked more like a hammerhead shark with her eyes so far apart.
A little bit, yeah. That was
that's weird.
So I saw a meme that was based on that scene, but I didn't understand. It was a drawing of. It was like a comic drawing or something, and it wasn't. Or maybe they took a scene from, either the original movie or the animated series, and then they went and photoshopped it to make it to make fun of that scene in the live action movie. It was so that's where the meme comes from. Okay, I understand that now. Glad somebody explained that. Because otherwise, I'm going to be I'm going to be going around on Twitter and seeing these memes and not understanding them. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. Like I said, I'm assuming they did they were trying to do some kind of VFX blooming on her, like they were trying to make her glow with everything else or something. I guess, and they turned her into a hammerhead shark for some reason. So I'm not even trying to be. I'm really not trying to be mean to the actors, but it's more like it's like what happened here. It was like I need to know all the steps that happened here to understand why this.
But you remember what happened to Will Smith in Aladdin? How they went and they blew him up. So they made him.
Oh I know.
They made him blue, but not.
Not in the best way possible. Good God.
Natural. Just some sort of weird, uncanny valley thing going on, and it's unfortunate because That's before he went around slapping people, and
we don't talk about that.
Respected him, at the time, and it's like, oh damn it, Not only is there a remake, but it's one that, which it does have some talented people in there, but I do like Will Smith, even though I don't like all these live action remakes. But it just looked like crap. The CGI was bad.
Yeah. Oh god.
It just wasn't the right. I don't know. It wasn't. Who was the original actor?
It's what they do with all of these films. Now, did you guys ever see I Am Legend?
Will Smith film. I remember.
Jesus Christ, they massacred it. Yeah, it was.
I remember there was a big hullabaloo about the ending.
Well, not only that, but in the first place, the creatures just looked obviously CGI.
Yeah,
they were just
practical effect whatsoever.
Horrible. No, and they did. That was the whole thing. There's no need. In the original novel, they're just humans that have become like these vampiric ghouls, right?
After practical effects for that.
As they did in both the Omega Man with Charlton Heston and Last Man on Earth with Vincent Price. Both of those films are also based upon I Am Legend, the book by Richard Matheson. And but they felt the need to make them like these stupid looking CGI creatures, which it just totally took me out of the film. I had no interest. Once I saw them, I was just like, okay, that's garbage. And that was pretty much it. But I don't understand their reasoning. It's kind of like, I don't know what they were going with. For instance, with iRobot, that film with Will Smith. Okay,
they turned it into an action movie.
So bad. God,
you turned it into an action movie. It's supposed to be a court drama, not a.
Well, it is a partial.
It's terrible when the Twilight Zone got that script better than you guys did.
Right. Well, yeah, and that was the whole thing. It was kind of like they went crazy with the CGI. And so all you got, remember those scenes with they have hundreds of the robots?
Yeah.
And it looks just so bad. I was just like, man, if I was playing a video game, this would be fine. But I'm watching a film and I'm looking at CGI characters that look obviously CGI.
I mean, they're in some.
You're talking about iRobot?
Yes.
Yeah, iRobot.
Oh, because I Am Legend is getting a sequel, so that doesn't tell.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah, I liked Omega Man with Charlton Heston.
Yeah, I mean, okay, and the thing is, when you look at those films, I Am Legend and The Last Man on Earth with Vincent
and I think
Price,
I saw that one as well.
They're relatively low budget films.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, they do what they can with the money, and so you kind of understand that. But I Am Legend, that Will Smith thing, was a huge budget film. I mean, it was another massive budget, Hollywood movie. They had no excuse. There was absolutely no excuse to make a crap film. And yet they somehow managed once again to do it, with a novel. I highly recommend it to people. If people out there that love reading, horror or science fiction, novels, read Richard Matheson's I Am Legend. It is it's only I'm going to say it's 250 pages. It's not even a big novel. But man, is it good. It is
I'm just freaking because the movie it pretty much states that he died if we go by the original ending, because I think and that's you can't make another movie with Will Smith with the character.
You know what they'll do? They'll get his son.
Oh,
they'll bring his son in, and he'll be the son of the doctor that was magically hidden away somewhere, like in Hawaii, while all of this was happening. I don't know. It'll be some stupid freaking thing with his son.
So, hey, why so serious gaming? I think that's how it's pronounced. But so Mama, you don't seem to have any videos on your channel. I mean, I'm looking at home, playlist, channel, and about. Not seeing anything. By the way, Geass, what game are you playing?
Mushroom Wars.
I've been wanting to ask you what you were playing, but we kind of got caught up in in a bunch of other topics. I'm trying not to cut everybody off, and I keep doing so because trying to read the chat, and then I got it right. Well, anyway, you're a moderator now, so yeah. I don't know. I mean, are you going to be uploading content, Mahmoud? I do have videos on my. Oh, that's weird. I wonder why they're not showing up. Oh, sure thing. You're welcome for the. I try to make most people moderators. There's a few people I haven't, or I did and had to take it away, but the wrench. Or some people call it a jacket. Like some of the Filipino viewers call it a jacket. I think that's a translation of like a Filipino or Tagalog word. I'm not quite sure why it's called that, but it just means moderator, I think. He has 2 channels with the same name. Oh. Huh. Well, I'm getting confused because I'm not finding anything on that on either link to Mamout's channels. So what's this mushroom game about? I mean,
it's basically kind of an invasion thing where I'm trying to take over these other towers.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. So is it the tower defense game or?
Well, sort of. I got towers that can defend my structures.
You're already a moderator, Mamout. I don't understand. Now I'm seeing videos on your stream. Okay. I'm sorry. I must be having problems with. Here we go. Replace pinned message. And why so serious gaming? I see you played Alien Isolation 2. Good taste. I've heard good things about that game. I don't think I've played it. Yeah, Carrie, one of my faves. So this is one where do you have towers that people do they try to take over your towers as well, or how does that work? Okay. I used to play a game like that on Facebook, but unfortunately it was one of those things that turned out to be a kind of a pay-to-win kind of situation where so you could take over people's yards. You can manufacture these like creatures to go into battle and go through people's break through people's they're kind of like their walls and stuff and destroy their factory. You can repair your factory, but the problem is you could like take over one of their yards, and then they wouldn't have their yard left. And that kind of, and when it was pay to win, and basically, just, you could pay to speed up your factory, monster making factory or whatever they had. That was it's kind of, after a while, I was like, yeah, this is not good. It's, I'm spending real money on there. It feels kind of like cheating, even though it's part of the game dynamics, That's what I don't like with some. That's what I didn't like about that game. Otherwise, it was a fun game. If they took out the pay to win part and just came out with like a paid game.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Have you guys seen much or heard anything about that Joker sequel?
I think they showed I guess a picture of what's her name being Harley Quinn. I was like, okay, whatever.
Yeah,
Lady
Gaga.
Yeah, I haven't even bothered watching the first one, and because quite frankly, I don't care too much about Joker at this point. He's way too overused, and he seems to be way too overpowered. And then with the Batman that laughs, it's like, okay, I am done.
Yeah. Well, it's true. I mean, they used the hell out of him. You're absolutely right. You know, it was just, I saw that photo. That was the only thing I saw. It was like a picture of Lady Gaga dressed as Harley Quinn, I guess.
I guess.
Exactly. I was like, okay, that's kind of a strange take on it. But, and then that was it. They were like, oh, here's a photo. And nothing really on the story or what's actually
happening or
or the other characters involved, although somebody was suggesting that, you know, Two-Face was going to be in there. I don't know. That's possible.
What the point?
So happy day to Happy Dinosaur 3000 or no 8,000. I'm sorry. I don't know. I got that wrong.
Hello, Happy Dinosaur. 3000.
Harvey Dent is supposed to be in that movie.
Harvey Dent. Yeah. Exactly. I kind of got the idea that it may be some kind of a courtroom drama, or at least part of it's in a courtroom, and maybe Harley Quinn throws acid in Harvey Dent's face, makes him Two-Face or something. I mean, it just seemed like that was it's a setup or something for that. I don't know. I really don't have any idea, except for the fact that it seems like Harley Quinn, there is some kind of courtroom thing going on, because they have her, like, cops are escorting her in the photo that I saw, like she's kind of dressed like Harley Quinn. I don't know.
Well, I still need to watch the first one of those movies before watching the second one. I heard the first Joker movie was quite good.
I thought it was all right. I mean, there were a couple of things that I thought were kind of like, I don't know. I'm not going to say anything. Because I'm not. You haven't seen it, so I'm not going to give it away.
Batman Part 2 will have Clayface. I've heard mixed reviews. Some people either love or hate or kind of.
It sounds my problem is that the Matt Reeves version of Batman is more. It's kind of like Christopher Nolan's Batman. It's kind of set in a realistic universe, so I don't think it really works that way. You know, because the Penguin was more of a mobster, which is what he's always been. But he doesn't have any the I guess the gimmick that was made for Penguin. And then the Riddler was like, what?
Okay.
I didn't like this.
Talking about the Joker.
Is it okay? Is this the Batman with Robert Pattinson?
Or you're talking about that?
I have not seen that movie. What did you think of it? Is it worth watching?
I like they were trying to make him more of a detective, but my problem was that Riddler. It was the way they made Riddler, and I was like,
horror might could be seeing Scream 6. Oh, okay, so they have, but the Penguin is in there, right?
Yeah, but the Penguin's in there, and he feels more like the Penguin, more like gangster Penguin, rather than supervillain Penguin.
Well, thanks for stopping by, Happy Dinosaur.
And then
sounds like you're gonna have to go to bed soon.
The problem is that they turned Riddler more into a like the guy from Saw.
Oh my God!
Yeah, because he had like his weird mask and a zipper and everything. He looked like he walked off a Slipknot music video.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
So Carrie says, "I love Penguin in Gotham TV series. The actor was amazing. I haven't seen much of that. It looked like promising. I watched like one episode, first episode, and it looked promising.
Carrie, I haven't seen Scream 6 yet. I gotta say that
I really haven't seen any of the other Screams.
Right. As a matter of fact, I gotta say, in all honesty, I think it's maybe the original Scream just did nothing for me at all. And I love Wes Craven. Obviously, A Nightmare on Elm Street, the original, film is fantastic.
I mean, from what I've understood, is that Scream was originally supposed to be kind of more like a serious parody of the cliches
but it's just not amusing. That was the whole thing. I totally agree. It was supposed to be a takeoff on horror films, and cliches in horror films, but I just found it really boring and not really that funny or amusing or clever at all. I never watched another one. After the first Scream film, I was like, okay, well, that's enough for me. But Carrie says, Horror Mike, Scream 6 is different to previous movies. You may be pleasantly surprised.
Interesting.
Well,
maybe that's the one worth checking out.
I have to take a look.
Because I haven't watched those either.
Well, 6 is the lucky. 6 could be the lucky number.
Carrie says, I love Penguin and Gotham TV series. The actor was amazing, and so Lorenzo, you should definitely watch Gotham. Well, I'll put that on. Yeah, I'll put that on my list of shows to watch. Gotham is pretty good. Need to get back into it. So sounds like it's pretty much universal acclaim for Gotham. The Riddler was Hush, and Penguin was Falcon. Was Falcon left-hand man? Falcon's left-hand man. The Joker in the deleted scene was Hannibal. So, which was it? The Batman then being discussed?
Yeah, well, this is the Pattinson Batman he's talking about.
No, I just found that one boring.
Some people say it was the best thing they've seen. Best Batman ever. Because he was supposed to be a detective.
Well,
okay, so the Pattinson Batman.
The problem with the Pattinson Batman, they. I'm sorry. Yes, they did make him more of a detective, but they kind of made him a stupid one.
Yeah, it sounded like you're saying that didn't really work out that well.
Yeah, didn't really work out that well.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed a couple of those, the Dark Knight films. With Heath Ledger. Yeah, I mean, it was a different Joker, but he, the acting was so good. He was so into it that it was compelling. That's all I can say. I mean, God, I got to tell you guys, I love the original TV show. The 60s
totally
show. I'll watch it.
Everybody's seen
hilarious.
Batman.
Yeah, that was such a different
West
feel.
Is so great, man. He's so hilarious. The guy
it was real campy. It kind of
total.
Just get rid of a bomb.
Fun. It's fun.
It's total camp, but it also is very much in line and reminiscent with some of that, like 50s, 60s Batman comic book stuff.
Yeah,
totally into it. And at least they were keeping, they were like, okay, we're going to go to the source material. We're going to make it campy. We're going to, make the characters pretty much like they were in the comic books.
Nowadays he's a paranoid schizo.
Yeah,
that's what they turned Batman into. It's like, sheesh.
Yeah, a really, really weird kind of. I mean, I don't know if anybody's done a thing like maybe a documentary or a video, like tracing back, going from the first for instance, the Batman TV series, then going to the Tim Burton Batman films.
Yeah, I think Tim Burton. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, then to the Nolan films, and of course up to this latest iteration. Like how they compare, like with the psyche of the Batman, you know, how he perceives the world and how he reacts to it. I mean, for instance, the Dark Knight. Okay, he does things. He's definitely, literally darker in those films. But is the Pattinson Batman darker than that?
Hey, Eric.
No, I think he was more brewing for that one.
Okay.
So he was more brooding than the other ones. I think the biggest thing is that I think when it came, they started making Batman more of a paranoid asshole when it came after Tim Burton's Batman is when they started making him more of a paranoid schizophrenic.
Right. Okay. Right.
I think that's where it started.
Speaking of Batman, Harley Quinn was my favorite. Says Carrie. I hope in the new movie they get her character right. Animated series was awful. I can't watch it. So I assume that Carrie's talking about the Harley Quinn animated series and not the Batman animated series, where that's where they really Harley Quinn came from, right? Was the Batman the animated series?
The
and
animated
then they changed
series,
her character since, right? Just totally changed it.
Yeah, they totally changed her. Her character changed so much from the TV show. And she was originally created for just the TV show, so she wasn't. So it's not like she was intended to be something outside of the comic. It's just she was just something they made for the TV show, and she just took off
for Batman the animated series.
For the Batman the animated series,
and then they had later, I think they called Batman and Robin or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that. And then I think she will appear in the comics after that, right?
Yeah, kind of like a little after that. But the thing is that she was still with Joker, I think, for most of her I guess her creation. So her being a lesbian,
bisexual. She's bisexual.
A bisexual character was later on a thing.
Yeah, but it was still part of the she had this kind of relationship with Poison Ivy that.
Well, it was supposed to be more that they were supposed to be like best friends. That was the whole point.
Well, I'm gonna have to watch Batman.
Yeah, best friends who share a bed.
Yeah.
Because maybe they were kind of hinting at something, and I didn't pick it up at the time when. Yeah, because in high school or junior high, when it came out.
You mean in the cartoon?
In the cartoon series,
in the cartoon series, they were.
Which cartoon series? The Batman animated series one.
Batman animated series.
Okay.
In the cartoon, they were best friends. In the comics, they were best friends, and then they just kind of evolved into bisexual relationship.
Yeah, right. Like
and so, which is kind of weird, but because they had always been best friend characters, and so I don't see why they couldn't just stay best friends, and they just made a new love interest for Harley.
Because they have to sexualize everything.
I think they were sexualized to begin with, but it sounds like they changed her orientation.
The orientation thing was weird.
There are some people who later on in life they're like, I always wondered why
these two characters
why I had these feelings or whatever, but I didn't put two and two together. I can understand that, but it sounds like it might not have been written all that well. Or made sense in that particular circumstance.
It was supposed to be that they didn't write it that way.
Okay, well, that's interesting.
Yeah, because their relationship was platonic. My point is that they have to take it and then go, hey, what if they were actually lovers? Hey, wow, we're so trendy and edgy and whatever the hell. Yeah.
I heard that with North Star. Like the character had only been around for like 3 years, and the writer wanted to give more of a backstory to the character, and
Yeah.
so and like have him be an actual fleshed out character.
Mhm.
And then I heard that when kids didn't even know at the time, like if their parents would let them still continue to read the comic book, you know, when North Star was it Alpha Flight, when he was revealed to be gay, you know, and I'd like to read those old books, but I can't. I've never seen Alpha Flight in the comic book shop.
So
You know, it'd be cool to, you know, if there's a reprint or if I could get those, you know, for like a good price or whatever. You know, as I said before, I'm not the best reader, but you know, not the best at reading fiction, even comic books. But I'd like to read. I'd like to read Alpha Flight, you know, and especially since it's one of the comics that are like set up in Canada, and there's really not that many.
Yeah, I don't think that. Personally, I just superheroes. There's no sexual orientation. You know, I mean that's basically.
Well, wait a second, like Batman and
that was it was flirtation. Flirtation, and that was also Catwoman that was luring Batman.
Yeah,
all the time luring him, and so that was part of her evil plan.
Yeah, really. The funny thing is that well, actually the sad part is not funny, is that if I remember correctly, I do believe Talia al Ghul drugged Batman into having, you know, intercourse. And like,
what?
Yeah, that's not something.
Okay, this must be new, right?
No, it was old. It was an old issue.
Like how old?
Old issue.
That's horrible.
Well, how old would you say? Like 90s?
I want to say 70s.
Oh my God! Well, that is shocking. Now that is surprising. I had not heard of that.
Wow. And so which is how we got Damian. That's how we got Damian. Damian Wayne.
Oh boy.
That's literally
okay. That's messed up.
Damian.
The current Robin.
Yeah.
Right.
Actual son.
What? Okay.
Is the product of a roofie.
Jeez.
But at first they I guess they liked the Damian and said like, oh no, you're the product of genetic engineering. Not
yeah, that might be a better. Yeah, don't want him to. Maybe not want him to know the truth. Because the truth is they could just mess with a kid's head. But he made it like Earth 2 Batman and New 52 Year 2. So I'm wondering what Chad was talking about. If he was talking about the Harley Quinn, or
he's probably talking about the
Batman.
For instance, is Robin in that Pattinson Batman movie?
Mm-hmm.
He's in it?
No Robin.
No Robin. I thought so.
The Damian Wayne is for the comics.
Okay, well, I need to get caught up with the chat. I'm sorry. He made it like Earth 2 Batman and New 52 Year 2. Well, if you're still here, Chad, please fill us in on that. And there's Eric Graham was saying hi to people, which was a long time ago, so I'm really behind. I like it in the final Adam West Batman movie that got William Shatner to be Harvey Dent. Oh, that sounds awesome. I got to see that.
Yeah, I don't know if I've seen that. I'm going to have to look it up. I'm looking it up, folks. I mean, are you kidding? William Shatner? Oh, my God. I'm Harvey Dent. Don't you understand?
Yeah. What do you think about the animated movie Batman Gotham by Gaslight? Batman and
they made a
story. Interesting. I'm not familiar with it. Oh, and hey, Anna.
I'm not gonna.
Sorry, I didn't see you earlier.
I'm not gonna ruin the movie for you.
Oh, I don't know.
But from what I hear, it's actually pretty good. I haven't seen it yet. I should have.
Yeah, Chad says that was a great movie with a twist. Well, I gotta see what the twist
I gotta
is.
get around to seeing that.
Now wait a second, Batman.
I thought, Chad, I'm curious what Lorenzo thought of it in the panel. So, so he's referring. So this is the Gotham by Gaslight. And let's see. It didn't happen in the Batman the Animated Series. It's just if it didn't happen in Batman the Animated Series, it's just fan fiction.
Fan fiction. Oh,
the video of James NZ or Kiwi member of the Sleestakians show. Great to see you, and I hope let's see when. I hope it's not. I see 10:24 p.m. I wonder. Yeah, I guess that was maybe 3 minutes ago. Hopefully you're still around. Hopefully everybody's still on because I'm taking a while. Great, just hanging in. Oh, people are talking to each other. No, yeah, thanks for I appreciate
Batman
Anna and James stopping by. When are you guys going to play Fortnite? So this Mama guy seems to be like a troll. Kind of thinking that, or no, maybe he's talking to some other people. Because I don't play Fortnite on here.
Oh, okay. It's the animated film, Batman versus Two-Face, where Shatner plays the Two-Face. He voices. He's the voice of.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't think it's
yeah. Not in the old Batman movie. I was thinking he was in the old Batman movie. I could see that too.
Yeah,
actually, him as Harvey Dent. Sure, man. But no, he did it in the animated film. He was Harvey Dent.
Well, you too, James. I hope you have a good. I think it's daytime there. I reckon. And hey, Elkin Slice. So a bunch of these people on the chat have awesome channels. Folks, feel free to put your links in the chat. I'm still not sure what Mama was talking about with Fortnite. If Mama was talking to somebody else or talking to me, because I never played it. I never played it in my life. I guess there's another Fortnite game too. That's I think it's a single player game. That's totally different. It's not like a.
Fortnite
Royale, the one that people talk about.
Well, Fortnite actually started out as a single player game. I do believe it was supposed to.
Yeah, I don't know if that one's ever been finished or if it's.
Or that version of it has never been finished, because I know they started it as a you build your fort to defend yourself from the horrors of the night, and then and somehow it morphed into what it is today. So they just completely dumped all the zombies and the creatures of the night and so on and so forth, and then and it is what it is today, which is weird. It's just like they particularly turned that thing and they turned it into what it is now. So it's like, okay.
Oh, R.I.P. Kevin Conroy. From he really is one of my favorite Batmans. Michael Keaton, Adam West.
Yeah. And but yeah, it was weird how Fortnite just went into this, became on to be this weird thing that
because it looked like because a single player game. It looked quite promising, but I don't think it really caught on like it. I mean, this
like it should have.
Not the way that.
Well, the thing is that it was trying to take advantage of the zombie hype for a lot of games are doing, and I guess at some point they realized that the zombie hype was going to die a terrible death, and so they changed the way the game was going to play, and we got the Fortnite it is now. That's my.
But I
That's
think I
my
might have
theory.
had
I'm not sure what actually happened.
I might have destructible.
Because you could build
like
stuff
structures or something.
Yeah.
I think the battle arena version does.
I know the.
Let's see. Oh yeah, talking about Kevin Conroy being the best voice actor. Okay, yeah, I'll agree with that. Definitely the best.
That was Batman
voice
the
actor.
animated, the
Batman,
TV
yeah.
series.
Yeah.
I gotta watch that.
Batman Beyond too.
Yeah, what sucks is his last gig was for that he was kill the Justice League game. I'm like, and that and stuff we're all seeing for that game is like, oh my god, this game is gonna be so bad.
I don't know. I mean, what I saw of it looked good, but I only watched the first part of the game, on a gaming stream, and
unfortunately,
about to play Resident Evil 4. Just wanted to say hi. Well, thanks for stopping by, Elkin Slice. And Elkin Slice is it a remake? You're going to put he's I don't with Resident Evil 4. I'm not sure. Oh, yeah. And hey, Deshaun Williams, if you don't have a wrench, I can give you one. I'm trying to remember if you do have a wrench. I'm glad, because there were people in here earlier that I thought had a wrench and didn't for some reason. Like 1000K. Huh. Elkin Slice, are you? Yeah, Elkin Slice is going to be streaming, but I'm not sure which version of the 4K. Huh. Not quite sure what that's about. Hey, Timbergini, and I'm gonna drop the StreamYard link in the chat. It does get kind of confusing if we get kind of confusing as now with just this number of panelists. How many people do we have on the panel now? Let's see. We just have 4 people on the panel.
Well, yeah. Well,
I'm trying to read the chat too.
Well, I'm pretty sure DJ had something to do.
Yeah, TJ up and
TJ comes and goes.
Pops in, he pops. Well, that's what she said. Apologies to TJ. Deshaun Williams 390.
Okay.
Not sure what that means.
Pop your own LinkedIn, dude.
I like this guy's hat. It just says weird. I need one. It does sound
hard Mike's hat.
Oh, what was that? Oh, well, this is Erie Publications Weird Magazine, which came out in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. It was all reprints of pre-code horror comics from the 1950s. And I actually did a couple of videos on it that are on my channel. But
it shouldn't be confused with Weirdo, which was Arcrom, I believe.
Yeah, this is actually Erie Publications. A funny thing about that, you guys, have you ever heard of Eerie and Creepy magazine from Warren Publications? They put out Eerie and Creepy illustrated magazines.
Maybe if I saw the cover,
horror type stuff.
I haven't read it, but I might have seen it on like Twitter.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, God.
A lot of covers on there, but I
Frank Frazetta and Neil Adams, all these guys.
Wow, that would be awesome.
Doing art for, Frazetta did a ton of covers for Eerie and Creepy. But in any case, they were like famous rivals. Myron Foss, who did Weird Magazine and Tales of Voodoo and so forth, he was getting ready to launch Eerie Magazine, and James Warren was also looking to launch his magazine, and he wanted to call it Eerie. So what he did is he put out an ash can and beat Myron Foss to the punch, and that's how Eerie became, that's how he beat Myron Foss in the race to create Eerie Magazine. Because once he had the ash can out, Myron Foss could not put out a magazine called Eerie.
So with Frazetta, did Frazetta do the covers for comics, or were they like pulp novels?
Yeah, here, let me show you.
And did he ever do any sequential art, like, or just covers? Like, did he ever do the interior art, or?
Yeah, this is for instance, this is a volume of Creepy, and that is a Frazetta cover for an early issue of Creepy magazine. Really great.
Wow.
Great
yeah,
Dracula.
He was a great artist.
Well, he was a master, but
absolute master.
Did he paint those covers, or how did he?
Yes, he painted.
Everything was painted, wasn't it?
Painted covers. He did all the famous Conan covers. You know, Conan the Barbarian. He also did, for instance, this is Frazetta doing sequential art comics.
So I tried to ask people before, and a lot of people just didn't know if he had done, like they knew him for his covers, but they didn't. Wow.
Know for anything else, yeah.
Wow, that's some of the greatest.
I mean, look at that
illustrations.
Art, woo! That is some hot stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, so he was doing all kinds of stuff for Creepy and Eerie back in the day, and
you said those were competitor publications.
Yeah. Well, Eerie Publications was basically a competitor, but the difference was that Warren, all of the stuff from check out this cover. This is another Frazetta cover. Werewolf, his famous werewolf cover for Creepy.
Oh, now I see it. It's
really cool.
I think I might have taken
is that better
for the camera to either for my eyes to adjust or the camera to adjust or both.
Here, let me do something. This will probably be better.
Okay.
How's that?
Much better. Wow. Thanks. This is awesome. I've been wondering about Frazetta for years, but I just see cover after cover, and that's all I've seen.
He really did quite a few covers for Creepy and Eerie. This is another one, really weird one.
There used to be such an economy around magazines. Oh, no, now it's zooming in. Keep in mind it takes a few seconds for it to... There we go. Now it's not zoomed in, but focused.
Oh, focused. I got you.
Now it's coming to focus. Yeah, so that's what the issue that it was, and also, of course, the lighting. Now the lighting's so much better, and I can actually see it.
Good. But there were so many great artists. Hold on. Like Joe Orlando was another one. All of these, or at least most of these guys, of course, did stuff for in the pre-Code Comics era, and then some of them worked for DC and Marvel, stuff like that.
So Tim made a good point, and then going back to what we were talking about earlier. Wow, what a great amount of effort. It's like comparing Picasso to modern AI art. So there we go. We've gone full circle. Because we started kind of early on in the show talking about AI art, and
yeah, that's true.
And I don't think Tim wasn't in the chat. I don't know if Tim was watching earlier, but either way, that was great, Tim. I appreciate it. Folks, if you like what you're saying, please like and share. I'm still trying to get the word out about the show.
Like and subscribe.
That too. Yeah, because we got a lot of people watch and
support.
Yeah, there we go.
The channel.
It's a really good show. I'm going to try to get this kind of close. This is still Frazetta.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, this is base. It's I'd say it's like fine art. I mean.
Oh, it is.
Yeah,
Frazetta,
it's totally different than.
I do believe Frazetta is supposed to be a classically trained artist,
and he was.
Yeah.
He was,
and I have totally have respect for traditional like comic art too, but it's just this isn't. You're not going to copy this with a. I don't think Frazetta would have had to worry about like AI,
no.
Art,
Yeah, oh, there's no way. And that's the whole thing. It's kind of like, look, when you're a master at that level, I don't care what kind of computer you have, it's not going to matter, because you're already as good as it gets with what you do.
Yeah, it'd be like, this computer is going to replace Jimi Hendrix. No, that's not going to.
No, it's not going to happen.
It would be the same sort of.
I don't even think the computer can even try and reproduce Jimi Hendrix, because most of the time that dude is on another planet.
Yeah.
That is true. That is true. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't. It's kind of like like Richard Corbin.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, his art, the stuff that he got. I mean, when you look at like especially the 70s and 80s, I mean, the color work, and he did all of his own color separations for the printer. I mean, he was like that kind of an artist,
So what did you work on?
I've never seen anything like it, and since.
Do you have any of his artwork, or?
Yes, I do. Oh yeah.
Because.
Let him get it.
Yeah. Like I knew about like R. Crumb and like some of the underground guys. I knew more about I knew more about like say R. Crumb and some of the underground guys that I knew about. Was this guy mainstream?
I have no idea. Like a lot of good artists who never got mainstream, I guess.
I think Crumb I probably first heard about it with
sometimes you have to find some of these dudes out.
And then they did that movie about Crumb, just I think called Crumb.
Yeah. Sometimes you'll find about artists through somebody else, not from some kind of mainstream publication.
Oh, we got a fellow green man on screen. That's
yes. I thought I'd bring up a Sleestakian kind of character.
Yeah, it's good to.
Boy, this is early Corbin.
It's good to have some sort of representation.
Mm-hmm.
So, how do you spell his name?
Richard Corbin, Corben.
Oh, Corbin.
Yeah.
Okay.
And of course, he did famously. Did you guys ever see the heavy metal animated movie?
There's been a few, but I think I
saw the South Park episode, like parodying it, but I think I've only seen the trailer for it. They had the breastatorium or something in there. Breastatorium.
The breastatorium.
God. That's all you guys. You guys, I mean, Mobius. Are you guys familiar with that guy? Let me show you something. Familiar. This might just blow your mind. This is classic Mobius. Arzak was one of his characters. This guy. I've got to move.
Here we go. I'm gonna go to. There we go.
Let me see if I can.
Yeah, that's crazy good stuff.
Well, that's awesome.
There we go. Oh, yeah, you see, I'm just too close to the computer. There we go. It's a little better. But this is all, he did, of course, it's all pen and ink with watercolor wash. He used water-based paints. And the guy's just absolutely stunning. I mean, it's hard to even believe some of this stuff that he did. I'm gonna have to move this. No, that might work. There we go. That'll make it easier.
Oh, that's wow.
Really quite amazing artist.
Yes,
Mobius.
some stunning, looks like fantasy art.
Yes, oh, totally. Yeah, this is the thing about this magazine, Metal Hurlant. Now, this is a French magazine. This is the first issue, came out in 1975. And this is also, I'm going to turn the light up here. I think it's a little dark. Let me see how this looks. How does this look better?
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Oops. Sorry about that. There we go. So that's a Mobius cover there. This is Metal Hurlant. Of course, this is all in French. And this is the springboard for Heavy Metal Magazine. That's the thing. Yeah, Metal Hurlant was the French, and then in 1975, and then in 1977, it came to the United States as Heavy Metal. So that was basically it. And so you have like this type of thing. Good God, man. This is Droulet. Now, granted, this is black and white.
That's still good.
It's insane. Droulet, who is still quite alive. He's still doing stuff. Was one of the main. He was one of the 4 people that created the magazine. Check this out. Now, you will not be able to see, unfortunately, the detail on this camera, but trust me, the detail is just mind-boggling.
Yeah, amazing.
On this drawing.
That looks like it took hours.
Yes.
Days.
Oh, yeah, days. Definitely days. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of this stuff is rather R-rated. So I'm being careful about what I'm showing to you guys.
Right.
We definitely appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes. I don't want to get too naughty here, but such a great cover. This is Metal Hurlant number 6, and that character is Major Gruber, and he's sitting. He's got his gun, and he's got his finder friend behind him, and they've just downed this giant dinosaur creature that you can see in the background there.
So did this lead to Heavy Metal, or was this totally different?
Yeah, it is. It is literally. This is the. How would you say it? This is the father magazine.
It's basically the book that started it all.
This started everything. This started the revolution in illustrated magazines for science fiction and fantasy, right? Because keep in mind that I showed you Creepy and Eerie. For horror, that started in the 60s with Creepy and Eerie. But yeah, this is definitely this is another really cool. This is another Mobius cover.
Wow.
Monkey of the 46th century.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Really trippy stuff, man. Really quite amazing stuff. So I've been doing on my channel, you guys can check out the videos. This is a volume of the first 7 issues. And so I've been going through this, doing detailed, reviews of the various issues and corresponding with issues of Heavy Metal magazine. So it's,
feel free, please, to post a link to your channel.
Also comparing
highlight
to.
that.
Oh, yeah, sure.
By the way, I just I've been looking at some of the things that I planned on talking about tonight.
Mm-hmm.
apparently filming is resuming on the Stranger Things. I've never really watched that, but I've heard excellent stuff.
My brother has.
Did you like it?
He seems to. I kind of watched it when I was in the room with him, but I don't really know if he's still been doing it or watched up to the last season or whatever.
They also did.
I guess that's pretty much.
Then there's apparently the Breath of the Wild, not Breath of the Wild, but this
Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah,
Tears
that's
of the
going to be
Kingdom,
$70. But it look kind of like Breath of the Wild. It's going to have some cool crafting features, allowing one to fuse objects together, make unusual weapons.
Yeah, that's going to get the hell out of.
Well, I don't know. I mean, the thing is, it looks cool. I'm just not going to buy it till it's on sale. You know. Here's Laura Mike's channel.
I still thank you, Lorenzo.
I still haven't even bought Breath of the Wild. I'm just.
Well, yeah, I have it, but what I don't like is the weapons break so easily. I think Jim, Stephanie Sterling, as they now go by, compared it to like a toothpick breaking, which I think was rather clever, especially once I played it. And it does break like a toothpick. The weapon, like you got like a wooden weapon or any weapon, it just breaks like a toothpick.
Yeah,
I got Skyward Sword to play for first before the Tears of the Kingdom. Oh, and he Modern Gaming is it with Jerry? I can't see.
Squad with Jory.
With Jory, I'm sorry. And welcome to the channel. I can give you a wrench if you don't have one. But yeah, there's and I enjoy what you've been sharing with us, though. I don't want to be rude or anything. I just realized, holy cow, I've got a bunch of things that I planned to talk about and talked about. But there, the Zelda, what's the name of the new game?
Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh, yeah, TOTK. Switch OLED doesn't even include the game. That's not good. There's some sort of new Disney Peter Pan stuff. I don't know. I think it's some live action thing. I just liked I don't know what company it was. I liked Hook as far as live action with I think Robin Williams was in it.
Which one was that, Lorenzo?
Hook. I think you were talking about it.
Hook. Yes. I remember that.
Yeah, Skyward Sword. That is that available on? Does that even work on the Switch or?
Which one?
Skyward Sword.
Didn't they put it on the eShop? Their eShop?
Oh, okay. I'm not sure. Yeah, well, I appreciate you too. Thanks for stopping by. Modern Work Gaming Squad with Jory. I hope I pronounced that right. Yeah, I'm not sure about because I don't think I have Skyward Sword. Sometimes they have only on their online service, like some of their games that I don't know why they do that because I think a lot of the old games, like if you got an NES game, a Switch would emulate that just fine, but you put a lot of that stuff on.
It's just
some of the later games I can understand. If it's a really it's a game that's really powerful. Sure, I can understand it being online because I know there are some games for the Switch, some new games that
money
are online only.
Yeah, after all, at the end of the day, Nintendo and whatnot are companies, and they have to make money somewhere, even if it's making diamond people.
Yeah, they want people to perpetually pay for to basically rent these games that that have been around for years, and that a lot of people could probably get in a not so legitimate manner, and yet they,
it's kind of in the same way that I have to pay for a subscription to use CutPaint Studio on my iPad, which I got from,
and I'm not telling people to. I'm definitely not telling people to go and pirate games or whatever. I'm just saying that the Nintendo's like been fighting against these like ROM sites, and
winning those cases.
Then they go, but then instead of, they used to have was it the Wii? Was it called the Wii Shop? Or I know they used to have a way. They used to have an online shop where I think people could buy the games, the old games, and play them for like the Wii or 3DS or both. Yeah, Mega Ace Gaming, welcome. And if you like what you're seeing, please like and share. I don't know how much longer we can stream for. I'm getting kind of tired and
it's
my neighbor awake.
It's actually about time for us to shut it down.
Well, this is when we usually wrap things up.
Well, it's been great, guys. I thank you for.
Well, thank you for on this
show. No, thanks for coming on, man. It's like we had a good conversation on movies and stuff, and we saw a bunch of art that was like, I think some of that I haven't even seen.
Well,
so that was a treat.
I'm glad I could show some stuff to you guys. And tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard, I'm doing a live show. Now, it is going to be largely kind of about Robert E. Howard, Conan, Weird Tales. Where he wrote for Weird Tales and did the original Conan stories were published in Weird Tales back in the 20s and 30s, 1920s and 30s. But also, I'm going to be covering some films. Some new films that have dropped on a few different platforms, including Tubi. So please, by all means, stop by. And also, too, I'll rent you guys, whoever wants to get wrenched, so you can also put your stuff in the chat, of course.
Awesome. And folks, if you want to promote your channels, now is the time to do so before we end. By the way, the Dolphin emulator, which emulates the GameCube, it's coming to the Steam store, and coming to Steam quarter 2. So it's the second quarter of this year. That should be good. Play some old school games.
I mean, one thing is getting ROMs for games that are so freaking old that you can't find it nowhere. The other is for games that you could probably still find a copy for if you try. Because I can't find any, because arcade games have died the death of so many other multimedia stuff. So
yeah,
because you can't find a copy of you can't find a good copy of older games. Like I don't think I've ever seen anybody publish Captain America and the Avengers. It's a side-scrolling beat 'em up. I haven't seen it anywhere unless I'm.
I'm not sure. So, Diablo 4 beta. Some people, one reviewer I saw was like, "Okay, this is a really fun game." To me, it looked a lot like Diablo 3, but I enjoyed Diablo 3. Kind of finished it early though. I mean, it didn't take me too long to finish. I didn't need to really craft any weapons.
If you played it on normal, it doesn't take you too long.
Yeah, it was.
You played it on hardcore.
I think I even increased the difficulty, and still didn't. It only took me a few days of. There was some pretty, it's pretty intense playing. But so the deal with the new game. Okay, so it's in beta. Problem is, okay, so I think most of it plays quite well, but there's some areas that are so buggy that one of the reviewers was like, "Hey, this might need some more time to come out. This might need to be delayed, because it's just, it's there's too many games, in my opinion, that are coming out, and they're just not. When they come out, when the game came out, it used to, it might have little bugs or whatever, but in the days when it was just on a cartridge or on a disc, you wouldn't be like updating it. You wouldn't be downloading any sort of patch. So it had to be pretty darn good. I mean, or else it was considered a shitty game. And nowadays they just come out like they put out the games way too early, And that's why I never pre-order games, and I wait till they go on sale. By then, a lot of times there's some patches that come out. So I don't know this channel. I think it's called The Final Verdict. And the guy was like, "This is not, in his opinion, it's not. It probably should be delayed." So I'm going to put that link in the chat if people want to watch that video.
I put on my links.
It's Fextra Life, FEX. Well, people can check it out in the chat, and I'll highlight the links. Oh, and there was one other thing. There's going to be. They're talking about a live-action hybrid remake of the Aristocats, Disney's Aristocats.
Why?
Yeah, why?
Yeah, that's exactly what Jack asked us. Why?
Oh.
Daniel from
Tek'l.
High-Tier Comics is like, why?
Why are you going to be lazy? Just do something. You.
And I answered a good question. When I was a kid, Disney would air made-for-TV remakes of classic live-action movies on Wonderful World of Disney, and they called it a bunch of different names, over the decades. But that's what I remember it being called. But I think they were somewhat low budget and weren't intended to replace the original. Nowadays, they make live-action remakes of their cartoons, which makes no sense most of the time. Like Battlestar Alita, or is it Alita Battle?
Battle Angel Alita.
Battle Angel Alita, yeah. And I think the anime version and manga has it maybe.
The funny thing is,
the
those
opposite
two,
order, Alita Battle Angel or something, but.
The movie is actually pretty close to the original manga. It's so close. It's I want to say it's like 80, 85, 90% there. The only thing is that the only thing they added was they introduced Motorball too early, but I think it's because they were trying to find a way to carry the pace instead of trying to make it breakneck speed. They were just trying to slow it down just a little.
Yeah, I think with and I do have that. I did order that after we had a discussion about it. I never ended up watching it, but I've got it somewhere on Blu-ray. The last time I cleaned, it's like some heavy duty cleaning of my apartment. I couldn't misplace the
only you would misplace a good movie. Come on, man.
But the thing is that I think it's really difficult to make a live action version of any sort of comic or manga.
Yeah.
I think that's the problem with a lot of the, sure, Iron Man was great. We were talked about some other great adaptations, like the old school 1960s Adam West Batman. But then there's a lot of stuff that I, quite frankly, am not interested in with live action versions of things based on comics, and I'm not. I'm not anywhere. I don't know that much about comics. As I said, I'm quite dyslexic, and even with comics, have a hard time. But I think animated movies tend to, they're more likely to have like a good storyline. if it's based, inspired by a comic. But live action, that's really difficult to get right, especially when Disney, they make a classic animated movie, and then they just time and time again try to make live action adaptations, and they just seem to rarely work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish Disney would stop doing that. And even when they reboot things even when they reboot their old live action movies. Yeah. That's why I mentioned Wonderful World Disney. I think they had some fun stuff on there. But when I was a kid, what they would go and they'd make something for their TV show. But then I think you could go to the video rental store and rent an actual video cassette back when they, still made them and
Oh.
and you could go and you could rent the original. And when people talked about the thing, they were usually talking about the original because they weren't going and making feature film reboots of their stuff like they are now.
Yeah, well, that's the way it goes, I guess.
Yeah, I think that was a better way too, because I'd go and watch things with my folks, when I was a kid, and my mom would say to me, over, with just oh, she keep saying, oh yeah, we had this when I was a kid, and I'd go and watch it. I think she even said the same thing with Buck Rogers. They used to have Buck Rogers back in the day.
In the 24th and a half century.
I know. I don't think that's with Disney, but I'm just saying. My mom would point out if there was something when she was a kid, there was a version of, she would point it out to me. I'd be like, oh, okay. And we go to we have this chain store called Meijer. That's kind of like Walmart. It's a regional one. And they used to have a video. They used to have a video game arcade when I was a kid, and then later on, when those kind of fell out of popularity, they had a video rental, video cassette rental store.
Are you talking Fred Meyer?
I think so. Well,
I lived in the Northwest, Washington, for a long time, and there were Fred Meyers.
Oh, this place is called Meyer, but I think the guy who found it was named Frederick Meyer. So I don't know if that's related or.
Okay, are you on the West Coast, Lorenzo?
No, I'm.
Oh, okay.
I'm up in the northern part of the Lower Peninsula of Michigan.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And then, and so kind of there's some of the surrounding here and some of the surrounding states, and even Kentucky has Meyer, but then they don't have that, or we often just call Myers, plural, not plural, but no apostrophe s, not plural.
That's interesting, yeah, because Fred Meyer was also, it was like a Walmart. And it was a chain. I mean, it still is, as far as I know. It's still up in, the Pacific Northwest.
Interesting.
Yeah, I wonder if that is a direct. If Fred Meyer is Frederick Meyer, it could be. Could be.
Yeah.
I mean, as a matter of fact, it kind of seems like it would be, right? I mean.
Yeah, but you never know. I mean is this spelled Meyer with a J or not?
It's just Fred Meyer. Oh, it's Fred Myers. That's what it's called. Fred. Oh, actually, no. They say Fred Meyer. No, it does say Fred Myers.
but how's it spelled?
It says Fred Leland Myers, Fort Leavenworth, Kansas. An American retired actor. What? No, that's wrong. What the hell? Oh, here it is. No, it's just fredmeyer.com.
And how's that spelled? It's with an E?
Meyer.
Okay, ours is spelled instead of a Y, it's got an I.
So
and
it
a
is
J.
totally different.
Yeah, but it's kind of
Totally
interesting that they're
different.
both like Frederick.
Yeah, that is weird, though. I mean, when you think about it, that is pretty bizarre.
That is quite a coincidence.
There's a Fred Meyer and a Frederick Meyer, and they have these chain stores
Yeah,
that are like
he had a
like
K
Walmarts.
at the end of his name. I think it was maybe he was German American or something. I don't know. He sounded like he was from Greenville, Michigan. I'm wondering Greenville.
Okay.
And Dutch. He was Dutch.
Whoville.
Okay, that makes sense.
Dutch, yes, of course.
Of course.
The Dutch.
Then there was Henrik Meyer, was a Dutch American businessman who founded the supercenter chain Meyer. I thought it was Frederick Meyer.
How do you spell his last name?
Meijer.
Oh, God. Okay.
So there was a Frederick Meyer, and I think there was even a book about him for a while, but it was actually Henrik Meyer who started it all.
Okay.
Wow. I never even knew about the guy's dad. So, wow. And then it says beginning at age 12, Meyer, this being Hendrik, Hendrik, and not to get too political, but worked at the mill himself. So he started working under harsh conditions at a mill, and beginning at age 12, worked at the mill himself, adopting anarchist and socialist views at the time. This time, this guy ends up like becoming a big time capitalist. So that's interesting. I'm not going to go into in more detail about that. I'll post the Wikipedia entry.
They always go from anarchy to capitalism.
No offense to the anarchist viewers.
They're
anarcho-capitalist or something.
I was going to say that. He became an anarcho-capitalist.
Maybe. I don't know, but I'll put this, and I'll say in Minecraft. So
that's great.
Minecraft. Yeah. In Minecraft.
So, folks, where can we find you?
Horror, you can go first.
Want to go first?
Yeah, you can find me on my channel, the Horror Mike channel. There, I posted the link in the chat. I'll do it again for the hell of it. But there it is.
Please do, because my eyes are getting kind of blurry.
Okay. And I am doing a show. I do videos that come out every Tuesday and Thursday and sometimes on Sunday. And but I do one live show, and that's every Friday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I cover a lot of stuff: books, movies, comic books, you name it. But
and every Friday.
And it's every Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard. So tomorrow night, and it's going to be a big, like Weird Tales, Conan, Robert E. Howard type of thing. So I'm going to be showing a lot of stuff. So if you guys are interested,
I'll try to tune in.
Come by and say hi, check it out. I think it's going to be a hell of a show because Tubi has added some really incredible movies. I keep track of Tubi and a few other platforms for videos.
I've heard a lot of good stuff about Tubi.
Tubi's
I have
fantastic.
the app, but I haven't watched much.
They also have incredible documentaries on Tubi, and I cover those as well. They have documentaries about films, filmmakers and so forth, and also just a wide variety. It's incredible what they do. I think really they're the one of the greatest video platforms, if you will, on the internet. They're just gigantic. It's absolutely amazing.
Well, I'll definitely check that out.
So that's going to be
quite quickly.
Tomorrow. That's going to be tomorrow night. Awesome. So 7 p.m. guys. Okay. So please come on by, say hi, and drop your links in my chat. you know.
All right, you can find me at Tier Comix on Twitter. You can also find me at Tier High Tier Comix on YouTube.
Using the touch screen, but it's $250 computer, so don't expect much.
Oh, I got yeah.
And if you want to check out the first couple of pages I have for high tier for Miss Wonders, you can sign in. You should be able to read the pages at the dollar tier if you just want to check it out. And I'll be posting the rest of the sketch pages of the first 20 pages in the $10 tier. So you guys want to spoil yourselves, you can check out the sketches for the pages for the first 20 pages. There.
Cool. I just subscribed to your channel.
Yeah,
I just found your channel. Great. High tier.
Yeah, where is your? Did you drop the link? Oh, here we go.
Yep, they're all there. And there's subscribe. So you you should be able to check it out for $1. If not, let me know and I'll fix that. Because it's supposed to be $3 and $5. Well, $1, $3, and $10. I think. 10 is basically you get to see everything I've come up with so far.
Okay, so that sounds cool. Anything else?
And you can follow me. You can get notifications for the comic and anything else I do on at Tier Comix on Twitter. And then you can also follow me at the Tech Corner on Instagram and at Patreon. Just remember, the Patreon is not safe for work. Yeah. And that's it. That's it.
And Geass?
You can find me as Master-Geass at DeviantArt. I posted a link to the Codex, the character I was working on last week.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Cool.
Anything else?
No, that's about it.
That's about.
Oops. So oh boy. So in a few hours we're gonna pick him as a VTuber who virtual streamer. She was bullied because she wanted to play. She just announced that she was thinking about playing Hogwarts Legacy, and won't go into too much detail, but it's because it's J.K. Rowling and some of her beliefs. People just kind of bullied her. And she's a Japanese woman. She speaks, she speaks some English, but she was only in America for like 3 years, so I don't think she even understood the controversy or anything. And so now she's going to graduate, which is the term they use for retire. And then she's hosting her last stream in like 9 hours, which hopefully I'll be up to watch that because it's depressing. She was a real sweet person, just wanted to play a game, didn't want to hurt anybody or hurt anybody's feelings or anything. Yeah, it's just too bad. And yeah, it's just, as I said, she's she grew up in Japan. She's half American, but she's not too familiar with American, she didn't. She just, I don't think she probably didn't understand the whole controversy at all either. I don't understand it either way. But anyway, so that's kind of a sad thing. And then I don't know when it is, but her channel all her videos are gonna be yanked. So now would be the time to watch her stuff. But anyway, I'm your host, Lorenzo Sleestak. You can find me here each and every week, each and every Thursday at 8 p. At 5 Pacific, 6 Mountain, 7 Central, and 8 p.m. Eastern. On YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. We had Chris from Hero Shack was watching us on Facebook earlier, so we actually did have a Facebook viewer, but I just promote the YouTube channel, well, mostly. Anyway, have an excellent night, everybody, and take care.